LSCR Studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Welcome to Mornings of Lone Star, irlonestar.com. Broadcasting live from the Lone Star Community Radio Studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Right now, you can hear us on Conroe's 104.5, 106.1, worldwide at irlonestar.com. And right now, we have a special interview going on, so if you want to jump over to our YouTube, Facebook page, Mornings of Lone Star, or Lone Star Community Radio, we are live on that right now. So let's get right into it. I have some guys who do a podcast here called the 52 Podcast. It is, you can check out the description and all the stuff, all the links to their things. If you want to listen to it, subscribe to it. They're on Spotify, they're on YouTube, they're on all sorts of stuff. We got Keith back in the studio. Keith, what's going on, man?
Good to see you, man. Good morning, man.
Good to see you. Now, I want you to do me a favor. We got a lot of people in the studio.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that while I talk to you guys. So I asked the audience to forgive me if I'm not fast enough switching cameras so we can see everybody. If you don't mind, introduce your podcast crew.
Yeah, so guys are here. I'm glad that everybody can make. I appreciate them making time for us. And we got Trent, man, my boy Trent here.
Yeah, what's up?
Trent Graves. I got Vinny Zuko over here. Big Bad Vinny Zuko. And then we got Producer Angel over here, not right next to me here.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, we're missing one. We're missing Johnny. Johnny had a work thing he had to do, and I understand he had something to do. That's more pressing than being a buffoon with us, being stupid with us. So that's kind of more pressing.
Yeah, I feel when I reached out to you to get you guys on, this was the perfect week to do it because it was
awesome.
spring break.
Yeah, and that Trent it worked out perfect because Trent it was off too as well.
Definitely good.
Vinny too. Yeah, so it was great. Yeah.
At first, I didn't even like spring break. Now I like it.
Me too, man. It worked out
Right?
great, man. 'Cause it's hard. And that's the terrible part about it is like we all have 9 to 5, so we can't do things in the daytime. So that's why it leaves us to do things at night. Like we have to do our thing Monday.
There's definitely a lot of planning that goes into it when there's a big crew,
Yeah.
And even when there's even when the planning goes down and everything goes to plan, inevitably something's going to end up coming up with somebody at some point or another. That's just kind of comes with the territory with being a big crew,
Yeah.
And so to let people know, you guys are a podcast and videocast. So you're on YouTube and you're on Spotify and all that stuff. And what's the weekly release? Is it
Mondays at 7 p.m. sharp every Monday? And it was cool because my son he got involved with us and he's helped. He likes those little pointers and whatnot. And he's like, Dad, you can put video on Spotify now. I was like, oh. So I had Angel and Trent kind of dig into that and see how, because I wanted to have video on Spotify.
Is it easy to do that? I haven't looked
into
that.
I don't know, Angel, is it easy?
Yeah.
To be honest, it's really easy. All you I fix the audio, all the audio from the video it takes, and it just I make sure the audio is good the whole time.
Yeah, because that's what's kind of unfortunate. Because Angel's the background guy; he's the one doing the audio, doing the mixing, and recently YouTube changed their thing where now they have a podcast option, and so it's really confused. It's like, what's the difference? Because it looks the same to me. Like when you go to YouTube, it's the same video. It's the same. It's like, do you create a playlist? Let's just see what happens.
Right.
But and Facebook tried to do that for a while, and then it's always changing. The world's changing, and now, especially with the studio, we have like 20-something shows, and when you put a podcast up, the world takes it and puts it on different places where you didn't even know existed. Yeah. So we get phone calls where it's like, hey, this is the wrong episode. It's on iHeartRadio. I'm like, I never put any of our stuff on iHeartRadio. And they send me a link, and it's like all of our programming, but it says it's under one of the shows. So it's very confusing. So you'll see Audience of One, but then you'll hear a lady talk about Conroe.
Nice.
And it's like, that's not what it's supposed to be.
At the risk of sounding cheesy, we really do actually live in an amazing time for media, media consumption. I think the platforms that people are afforded are, it's obviously more than what anyone has ever had before, and it's still evolving. What we know as YouTube is going to be different in 5 years. What we know as Spotify is going to be different in 3 years, and it's just going to continue to evolve and change. And I'm excited because it'll give us an opportunity to to do more things and expand, and it's gonna be good.
YouTube's come a long way.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
From that one guy in the zoo or whatever it was.
That's true, yeah. What's the one guy in the zoo, yeah.
Well, then until they changed the rules of everything.
The cursing and whatnot, yeah.
I mean, just anything.
Yeah.
Like,
mine's the cursing.
yeah.
That's my big thing, dude. That's mine.
Well, that's what I love about the radio station. We have that FCC rule, so it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
no,
I really
good.
don't have to worry about anything.
No,
Yeah.
you're good. No, we're solid.
So we're all our shows are good. But when someone comes in, they're like, "Oh, you can't have a show anymore because you curse too much." I'm like,
I remember when YouTube, first came out. Or let me rephrase. I remember when I first heard about YouTube, and it didn't make sense to me. Like somebody explained it to me, and I was like, I don't understand. Is it TV? Is it not?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, yeah, but not really. And I was like, well,
It's on demand.
Is it
Yeah.
TV or is it
demand.
not?
TV.
Yeah. What's on demand? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can watch it from your computer. I was like, I just want to play Minesweeper. I don't really want to.
well, I mean, with the studio, we're a community radio station, so we get all sorts of people coming in. And one of my favorites, so we had a show for about 6 years, and then she finally goes, "Hey, what's a podcast? Can we get our show on podcast?" And I was like, "It's been podcast for the last 6 years."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I send it to you all the time. That's what a podcast is. Oh, I didn't know it was on my phone already. I'm like, yeah,
It's in there.
It's
It's-
not hard.
That's
Built-
that's
built
another
in.
thing when those when this different media types came out or whatever. It's like, is it on my phone? Is it not? I don't understand. Like, what is the cloud?
Yeah.
What-
What's
For
it
me-
called? Keeping up with the times.
Yeah, no, man. That's because when on the iPhone, I never knew, and I'm an idiot because I didn't know on the iPhone has podcast on there, and I didn't know that was already built in. You
Yeah.
just click on that, and it goes. You can select your different podcasts. Because I always went to, like I said, YouTube or Spotify or whatever, but I didn't know there was a little.
like an icon. to
Yeah,
say,
I didn't even know, man. I didn't even
Well,
know.
Google has the same thing.
the
Yeah.
podcast.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
see,
it's-
and just like that, I was today years old when I found that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Google
like, I didn't
has
know that.
Google Play, and then it's like that's
on.
the store, but they also have Google Music, which is podcast too.
Yep.
So it's really weird.
We're on Google Podcasts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I have to share it. When I looked at it, I was like, "Oh, we're on that one too." Okay, cool. I didn't even know that. Because my biggest claim to fame.
don't even know- we
I
don't
didn't
even know where you
we
can
don't even
watch
know
our
where
show.
we're at. You can't even find us.
But we want to tell people the 52 podcast
Yes.
can be found
Yeah.
on Spotify. That's your primary way,
Spotify,
and then YouTube. And then what I did, if you're in the description on the YouTube or Facebook, I put a link to all that stuff, and you can find it. It's really easy. And then especially their Facebook, because they have the Linktree link, which kind of like houses everything. So
Yeah, I think probably our biggest platform is Spotify.
Definitely Spotify. Yeah.
People
and
like that one.
yeah, that's where I think a lot of our hits are coming from. Its second would probably be YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, YouTube's pretty
And we
bullshit.
get the consistent at least like 30 to 40 views. And the way I tell people, like, imagine those people sitting in front of you, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's like, I think that's pretty good.
It's cool.
For what we
And it's
do.
baby steps. I mean, we've even been doing this for just a year, man. And
Yeah.
then it's just fun. It's just something that we thought, me and Trent, I was just a little bit of backstory. I want to, put everybody to sleep. But just the backstory is I was, I work at the watering hole there in Conroe. And Trent does his thing there. He does a gig there with me. And we talk all the time. We always, talking and BSing all the time and having a couple adult beverages talking. And I told Trent, hey, man, you ever, podcasting, I've always been fascinated with it. I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of radio and all that stuff. So let's do it, man. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Let's put it together. And Trent was like, yeah, I got the equipment and I got the stuff already. Like, I'm halfway there. So we just need to get cameras and all that good stuff.
It
And-
was really funny the way it worked out, because like Keith came to me and he was like, hey man, have you ever thought about doing this, whatever? I mean, it was just a couple of weeks before I had just purchased some equipment, and I was like, I'm gonna start doing a podcast, even if it's just me like talking to myself into a microphone. I'm gonna start doing it. And then he brought that up, and I was like, dude, it makes sense, because we're always here talking, and we would look up and notice that random people were
Yeah.
just like standing around listening to the conversation, and I was like, well, let's
that's
you
because
know,
y'all are drunk and loud.
Well,
We know.
that was most
not
of it.
because it's
That was most of
interesting.
it. No, it wasn't interesting at all.
Yeah.
It was just, but it was funny. Yeah, like
let's
Trent-
put this in the cloud and see who can
See if
do
it
it.
rains on us. Right?
Well, yeah,
But we,
I think it's important for the audience to know is the 52 podcast covers a variety of topics,
Yeah.
and it's the way, because I was privy to watching one of the episodes, and I would tell people it's current events,
Yeah.
interesting facts, pop culture, and then of course you always like to bring it back somehow back in as I guess historic pop culture.
yeah,
I guess you
kinda
call
just
it.
bring it around town.
But it's
SpongeBob.
not hard hitting stuff. You're not sitting there like Alex Jones with all your
No,
paperwork. and
No,
all-
no,
way, dude. I'd kill
telling
myself.
people.
People ask all the time. They're like, they find out that I'm in a podcast, and they're like, hey, I heard your podcast, and you sounded great, whatever. And then there's other people that are like, hey, what's your podcast about? And I'm like, I don't know.
just
We
I
got
don't know,
good
we just-
comedy too.
We just
yeah,
talk,
we try
Yeah.
to dabble. We,
you
just,
know,
we just try to be us.
it's
be us.
conversational.
It's just us.
You know, it usually always ends up hitting some nostalgia points, and you know that kind of thing.
Because the thing is that you want to. Of course, I like nostalgia. We love it all, but the thing is, you can't keep doing that because eventually it'll burn itself out. But because right now it's crazy trendy right now with all these movies looking like 80s and 70s and all that. So I wanted to make
Music
sure we
too,
keep
yeah.
the music too. So I'm sorry. So I wanted to make it to where after that trends go, we can still have our little discussions and have it. It still works.
I've had people tell us that they can relate to what we're talking about, like you said, for current events and pop culture, and they're in their car or wherever they listen to us, in the background at home, and they're just like, yeah, I like to listen to you guys because you guys cover everything. Yeah. So
Well, I was on, I guess you'd call it like the hidden episode
Yes.
right now. That's what I would call it. I was on with you guys with you, Keith, and you, Trent, and after I left, I went and watched Andor because I was like, we're talking about Star Wars a little bit, and I was like, I'm a big Star Wars hater, lover kind of thing. I was like, you know what? People said Andor's good. I'm gonna watch that.
And you got
'cause
sad, didn't you?
And actually, it was. It's funny. When I watched it, I was like, "This is so good," but I already know, like, that sucks because it's part of Rogue One, and I was like, "This sucks because this won't
Yeah.
continue."
Yeah.
And there's some great actors in it, great characters. I was like, "That's like, of course, this would be the most like a better written show for something that ends abruptly."
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
why can't it be something else? Why couldn't Solo be like this?
Yeah, well, and we were. I was specifically thinking about Rogue One after that conversation, and I thought about some points after that episode that made sense, and it was sort of this idea of bridging what the first three movies in the series were to what the 4, 5, and 6 were after that, and it's this sort of hidden story that you just heard characters talk about. You never really got to see, and I think that was one of the things about that movie that I thought was. We don't have to deep dive into this again, but that was one of the things that came to me was like, this is such a good story because it's the story we heard about in the original movies, So it made a lot of sense. But
then when they make this great TV show called Andor about before that, and then it's like, well, we already know what's going to happen.
yeah, spoilers.
No, what I was in kind of circle back to the thing is like, me and Trent, so we kind of jumped in together and did this podcast thing, and then I had a buddy that would hang out with us too, Johnny Munoz is on the show, and then we did it we were like 20, 30 episodes in, and then this guy stumbles upon us, man, and this guy is a professional wrestler, Vinny Zuko stumbles upon us, man, so I was like, this guy's got personality. I said, let's bring him on, man. Let's have him on the show. So we have a fourth mic now. So we were just gonna keep it at 3, but I enjoyed the conversation we had with Vinny off mic and just in personal conversations. I enjoyed him, and
He's the color commentator.
yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah. So we brought Vinny in, man. I wanted to have because he's like I said, he comes to the watering hole I work at, and he does his act there, and he does fantastic, and he's puts a great show on. You got to catch Vinny if you catch it. March 25th.
Well, that's
Vinny.
what makes a great crew is everyone's a little different.
Yeah,
brings their
man.
own perspective.
Yeah, man, I love it.
sure.
I love it.
So
I
that's
love
why I
having
fly
different-
solo because I can't get along with anybody.
I could tell, dude.
You're
I
an
could tell-
idiot. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
If you believe that.
I could tell, dude. You were when you were doing the show with us, man. It's like he hated everything. He hated
Well,
everything. Everything I brought up, he hated.
Well, my wife constantly tells me, "It's like, have you been listening to yourself? Like, you are one of the most upset people without being upset."
Oh yeah, dude.
And I was like, "Well, you asked my opinion." It's like it's always negative. It's always you're always critiquing, especially
good,
when it
though.
comes to shows and movies. She's like, "You can never enjoy a show."
Yeah,
Because no matter even if you liked it, I still hear you saying you don't like it.
That's okay, but there's a fine line between being negative and being critical, and I
Yeah.
think there's some value in having a personality that gravitates toward being critical, and talking to somebody about something and pointing out certain things or the way something is or the way you wish it was, whatever. I don't know that that's negative. I don't know. I would say look at me. I'm critiquing him saying he's being
we're
negative.
on the same we're on the same wavelength when it comes to that because I love all that kind of stuff. But the more I talk about it, if you listen to it, it's like he just doesn't really like a lot of stuff. I'm like, no, I love everything.
It comes across as super negative, and it's certainly not the
There was
intention.
actually a part when I was editing your part of the Lost episode.
Yeah.
they asked you a certain question about a movie, and you said no in the nicest way. And
Yeah.
that's what it kind of reminds me of right now.
Yeah.
That's I don't know how I do it. It always just comes out that way. But but you know, I love talking about it though. I love talking movies, and especially like bad movies. That's my favorite comfort zone. Is like I like watching bad because I know what it's going to be. It's like this isn't trying to be, you know, Citizen Kane of the action world. It's like let's just watch this terrible movie.
Did you enjoy Citizen Kane? Or did you
I mean, it
enjoy
was
that?
okay. To me, it was the fascination with that movie is when it was made.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this guy really, I mean, how much money did they spend on this
Yeah.
movie? Because it's long.
nice, dude.
And there's a
It's
lot of
nice.
different scenes. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I get it. I
It was
dig
before its time. They
Yeah.
put a lot into it too. Actually, I was watching a documentary on that, on how they did it and like the effects that they used in that movie. It was
Well,
kinda
it
crazy.
reminds me of the creativity that can come from that art.
Correct.
Because it wasn't like a full studio production movie where it's like kind of like the Marvel movies now. It's like, hey, we got to have this color scheme. It's got to be this. This guy's like, I'm trying to tell a story. And this scene, we're gonna have this huge snow hill. And this scene, we're gonna be in the newspaper office. It's crazy. Like he had this vision that he stuck with it. You can tell that guy's a stage director because the way each scene was set up, almost like a stage.
Yeah.
And it like, but he put so much detail into it. And then you have to go, man, this was made back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, way
most
back
people
then,
were like,
yeah.
we're not going to be doing that guy. Like that's not. Let's just use this one stage. Let's
That's
just do
it.
this one thing, and we're good, and not spend a lot of money. But he's like,
Yeah, I saw that when I was in art school. They showed that to us for visuals and to get the lighting, things of that nature. But it was a class. That's the first time I see it in art school. I was like 20.
It was like
And it
effects
blew me away.
before FX.
Yeah, dude, it blew
Yeah.
me away, dude. I was just blown away what they did for the time.
well, I think that's
Blown
it's,
away.
and especially in filmmaking, it's interesting. Back then, every once in a while, you get a movie like that. That it kind of like Star Wars when it first came out, or like Lawrence of Arabia. People are like, this is what movies can be.
Yeah.
Why isn't every movie like
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Well,
You
it's
put Wizard of Oz in that category.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
you're just like, this is totally different. And then today's world, now we have like that's why I like this year's Oscars because it gave it to everything at once or
Yeah.
whatever. That movie's wild, and I was like, I'm glad they're recognizing something original instead of something safe because. I think we talked about like the Green Book. When the Green Book won, I was like, "Come on, guys!
Yeah.
Like that's what an Oscar-winning movie is.
Yeah.
That's so safe."
Yeah, for sure.
The special effects in movies, that's one of my favorite things to do is go back and look at not just old movies, but like old low budget movies. I mean, it's movies that are not comedies, but they end up being very comical in with the explosions and
yeah.
and stuff like that. In even bigger movies, like you look at we were just recently talking about the second Mummy. The Brendan Fraser one,
Yeah.
and the
It's bad.
CGI at the at the back is so bad
rough.
that it's not just bad CGI. It's bad CGI even for then.
Like
even when it
Sharknado
came
bad?
out.
Oh,
Well,
maybe worse.
I know
Yeah,
you're
no,
probably hitting on the rock part.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Scorpion
So-
King part at the end.
Because there's other parts
Spoiler
of that movie
alert.
that are more fun. Like it looks all right. Like I think that's the movie where they have the floating boat, and then the water comes
That's it.
through,
That's it,
and like
yeah.
that wasn't that bad.
But when you get to the end and they're in that,
Oh.
is it a temple? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a
and,
temple.
And he's like crawling across the
it's great.
the ceiling and
It's
stuff.
great.
And it's like
The
that's
claymation was awesome.
claymation. I love it.
claymation.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things too. I can't imagine being on the set like, oh, this is gonna work, maybe, and then you see the final product like, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's like Clash of the Titans, dude. That was terrible. Like it was a great movie with the way it was told and everything. It was cool, but like you said, the claymation, the what was her name, the Medusa.
Yeah, but
She
that's
looked terrible. I
but
mean, it was
that,
just- I
that
know it was-
movie
yeah,
that
it was-
movie sold it though. 'Cause
No,
I
for
think,
sure, yeah.
I think the Mummy too. The problem was the first third of the movie was great.
Yeah.
And it, you kind of went with it, but when you saw The Rock come out, like I'm not going with this.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Because at least in Clash of the Titans, like every special effects like that, so it's like
Yeah.
okay,
That,
this is
that kind
this
of
is where we're
hindered his
going.
movie career for a little bit. The claymation part.
Well, I think the XFL is going to hinder it a lot more.
yeah, sure.
but,
Yeah.
Who's watching the XFL? I want to know.
Me too.
Okay. All right. Here we go. throw myself to the lion's den here. Am I watching it now? No. Did I watch it before it got canceled before the pandemic? Yes, because the
which time
the production,
it's been twice already. It's been scrapped.
Is it when Vincent Mann?
No. When it came back on,
I think it's 3 times now.
It was only
3 times.
It was
Okay,
only
yes.
this is the 3rd time.
Okay.
The second time was just before the pandemic,
Yeah.
and it would have been fine because they were growing viewers. People were going to the games.
Sure.
The Houston team was really good. So I
They're
mean,
still
it was like-
undefeated.
and I can't remember Philip Walker, I think was his name, the quarterback. He plays for the Panthers now, I think.
Yeah.
But he was the quarterback at the time. This was, I guess, 19. But XFL only had 1 season. It was just that one season, and the pandemic
And it was
hit,
short,
and they
too.
shut down.
Yeah, indeed.
And
They didn't
and-
have a championship game.
and it was actually really good. It was something that was, I mean, yeah, it was still, kind of B-side NFL, but I mean, it was fun to watch. But I haven't really watched it this third time around.
It's hard to judge it because it's being compared to the NFL, which is like the most watched sport in the world.
Yeah.
It's king.
Yeah.
But then I was like, man, do people really? Because people watch college football all day, and then it's like, all right, XFL, where does this fit in the football watching world? Because from what I understood, their strategy was we're going to be on when there's no football.
Yeah.
So that way people are watching football.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if people are watching it, or if they're not, because I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't really want to watch it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But
So when it came back the second time, and this is something that that was sort of their selling point the second time it came around. I can't remember. I think it was 2019 when it came around the second time. Their thing was we don't want no penalties, but we want less penalties. We want to let the players play. We want less commercial breaks, and we want the action to stay with the players. We don't want to move around to this or that or whatever. We want people to be able to watch the game uninterrupted, because that was one of the complaints at the time. That was at the height of the complaint of the NFL, which was you can't tackle anymore.
Oh, no.
You can't. There's too many penalties. The stoppage was another thing. XFL was like, we want less clock stoppage. We want
can
less
you even
commercial
kneel
breaks.
in XFL? Can you kneel?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the
That'd be awesome.
The XFL, the reason they chose that selling point was because that was right at the time where NFL was kind of got in trouble with their fans, because they would go to commercial break between a scoring after a touchdown. They would come back from a commercial break, do the kickoff, and then go back to another commercial break. And so it was like you were watching football for 20 seconds with 10 minutes of commercials, and people were getting so upset, And so XFL was like, let's fix this.
Clock stoppage. That 2 minutes can turn into 10 to 20.
Easy.
Hours sometimes, dude. If it's tied up and shit, it's just.
So I don't know if they're sticking with that same philosophy, but I did like the second time it came around. I think it was 2019. I think so. But so I don't. I haven't. That being said, I haven't watched it this time.
I was
So.
watching. I was kidding. People are probably watching it. I just don't really. I mean, to me, I love minor league kind of stuff. Like going to the game for a minor league game is so much more fun than going to like a professional
Express,
one.
man. I don't know if
So,
Express. Those games are fun.
like when the Arrows were here, that was a lot of fun. And then because I love watching hockey, but going to an NHL game, you're gonna pay like $100, and it's like this isn't fun. Like they're not even getting any fights.
Yeah.
And,
I know people that would drive up to Dallas just to catch the Stars.
Yeah,
yeah.
the Stars game.
Because they're
Oh, yeah.
hockey fans.
I mean, I drove up to Dallas to watch the Flyers,
Mm-hmm.
so I've done that,
Yeah.
and I was like, this isn't worth it because it's not as much fun as the Arrows. Did y'all see? I want to say it was on Tuesday. The NHL did a thing where they partnered with Nickelodeon or Disney, and it was some Disney program called like The Green Yard or something. It's like a cartoon, but they made like an overlay of the game with like a video game.
Oh, really?
And like so when they hit, it said "pow" and like. But what I love about it is when they scored a goal, there was no animations to like celebrate. So you just see all the players just hit each other, and they're just kind of like. And it looks really. And then like when they were fighting, when people got in a fight, it'd just be like two people just kind of hovering next to each other. You're like, I wonder what's going on there. And, but yeah, it was
Game's glitching out.
It was bizarre because it was on Disney. You could watch it on Disney Plus, and my wife and I were eating at Pacific Yard House, and I was like, "Look, can you imagine me getting excited about our kid watching a hockey game, but you're watching a video game? Because it looks like a video game. It does not look like hockey." I was like, "I think I'd rather just let my kid watch hockey. Like just watch the game."
Fighting.
Yeah.
That's I think they did an
Here,
NFL.
I'm gonna pull it up real quick. See if I can.
I think
pull
they
it
did an NFL game like that where they had like the slime. It was like a Nickelodeon thing, and when they scored a touchdown, they like virtually slime them. I get it, man. They're trying to get the kids into football and whatnot. So the next generation.
Since we're actually on the topic of hockey and Disney Plus, there's a show called The Mighty Ducks Game Changers. So we all know the Mighty Ducks, obviously, right?
For sure.
So it's basically like the team now, new kids.
Like
they're
the next
younger
generation.
kids, but like the team now, they're like rude and like just mean.
They lost their ways, their roots.
They lost their ways, and then so one of the Gilmore girls, I forget her name, the older girl. I forget her name.
I'm gonna say Haley, but I don't know if that's really a character's name.
She ends up being her own team, making her own team called the Don't Bothers, and then they end up getting better, obviously. And there's one kid called Nick. He's a podcasting little kid.
Oh,
you guys will like it just for that
kidding.
little kid right there.
We what was it? That one guy on the Mighty Ducks, I forget his name. He hit rock bottom, dude. Like he was on drugs and whatnot.
Oh, Goldberg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the
yeah.
Fat Camp show too. The one with the Ben
Oh,
Stiller. That was
yeah,
that was
Heavyweights.
an amazing movie. That Ben Stiller movie with the.
Oh wait, yeah,
it's like a-
Heavyweights.
Heavyweights. Yes.
Heavyweights, yeah.
I love Heavyweights. That's
All
like
right.
Ben Stiller's one of my favorite.
I'm gonna pull this
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Big
I'm
City
gonna let the-
Greens,
I'm gonna
yeah.
let the audience see this. This is what you're watching. So this is like live tracking,
What?
and this is live, and this is how they're doing it.
Crazy, dude.
What?
And it was so bizarre because it's like, why are we watching this?
It's even cooler just watching it.
But like, why wouldn't you just watch the
real game.
real game?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I guess it's more kid friendly. Because
Yeah.
my wife even asked, like, how old do you have to be to watch this? I was like, I imagine this is for like 4-year-olds. Because if you're 10, you're not watching this.
Dude, count me as 4. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm kind of into it.
you can.
But I really wish I wanted to show like when they score, it's just they just hover around. There's no animation. It's
That's
just like
really-
So,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is this is an overlay of the actual game
after
happening.
the game. Yeah. So look, they score,
Oh.
and then there's like yeah. Isn't that great?
They could have done it like
yeah.
like Tecmo Bowl when you used to do the
There's
high
the,
five.
there's the
But yeah, that's what
awesome,
you'd
dude.
watch the whole game that way.
Funny, dude.
Can you imagine if everyday life things were overlaid like that or
Well,
animated like that?
have you ever done the meta world stuff? Have you ever done it?
I've seen a lot of videos
Yeah,
on it, but I haven't ever done it.
It
no.
is bizarre.
Talking
Yeah.
about like the Oculus and stuff.
Yeah, like the actual meta worlds.
Yeah.
Because
Never
it's not a game.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
But it is a game. It's like you ever heard of a game called I think it's Second Life.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's similar to that, but it's like all VR. So you're just talking, and most random people have different costumes on, and I'm like, all right, what do you do here? And you just meet people.
They still got no legs though, or what?
Yeah.
It depends. Well, if you go to like, I wouldn't call it an X-rated VR world. I forgot what it's
Yikes.
called, but like people, it's an open world. It's not like Meta. Meta is very controlled.
Okay.
And like the open world, it's wild. It's just like
Is that paid
black
version?
market. That black market.
It's a black market VR, and people are talking all sorts. It's kind of like 4chan for VR.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude.
So you can.
Yeah, I've played VR and I get very nauseated.
Me too. I get
So
sick.
I can't-
I get
I
sick.
Well,
can't
this
do it.
isn't really like this isn't action packed.
Just
It's
a
like
world.
you're literally like
You look around.
you're just
like,
looking around and you talk to people.
I have a hard time doing that now.
I know, right? They were saying what was it? I was reading something. Not reading. I was watching, of course, podcast. It was a podcast, and they were talking about you could in the meta world you could buy like world what do you call it? Land, not land. What am I saying?
Virtual- yeah, there's-
like real estate.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And then some people want to do like you said in the darker ones. They have like adult clubs and stuff, and then they also have. They also want to do comedy that way too.
Well,
They're
that's
trying to do it in
where
pandemic.
that's where I think they try to sneak in NFTs.
Yeah.
Try to like
Yeah.
see if that they could test that because I think what they were ultimately going to be doing is in meta world you could use your NFTs to show art, show that, and it's like there's a value. I can have like you buy sculptures or a picture or whatever, and they were trying to do that, but most people realize like I'd rather have a real piece of art.
I was
I'd
about
rather
to
have something in
say,
my house. Yeah, I'd rather have something in the house.
They
yeah.
do that, and what is it called? Animal Crossing. It's pretty much what it's like, where you can buy all kinds of different stuff and build your own little pad.
Yeah.
Well,
know?
well, in that game, it's all connected too. If I understand, you
Yeah.
can buy, but you're not. I don't know. Can you spend real money in Animal Crossing?
I'm not sure,
Because
but
the world of video games has changed drastically.
no, because it
Hopefully
keeps
can.
up with the actual like your time. Like,
Well, yeah.
Central
Like,
Time.
I remember that because you
Pacific
can
Time.
visit other people's and you can trade.
Yeah,
and-
you go to their island.
But I don't know if there's like microtransactions where I'm putting like $10 in to get like 400
I
Animal
wouldn't
Crossing
doubt it.
credits.
You know, it being like
crazy.
on
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
Xbox and all that other stuff, right?
Wow.
Hey, but let me just throw this out there. I got no idea what y'all are talking about. So,
Yeah.
well, it's a game.
Yeah. I
Get with it.
Yeah, no, catch up. What was the other thing? Oh man, I was gonna spin off of that. what you call it, the Farmville thing. I mean, that was a big craze at one time. I mean,
and you spend real money to get do stuff in the game.
You know what I used to hate when that Farmville, whatever it was, that game that was on there, and Facebook was still kind of like new, and your friend, if a friend wants to ask you to play Farmville, I mean, you'd get it every day, every hour on the hour. It drive me crazy. I would tell my friend, hey, stop inviting me, dude. I don't care to play this game, but. I remember when Facebook was fresh and new, and they were doing that.
Mafia Wars,
or
something like that.
And you get poked, people poke you. And shit.
So take it back a little bit. Go back to The Sims.
They'll share stuff with you so they can get the golden chicken or whatever.
And Angel's real quiet because he's like, "Yeah, I spent over $10,000."
Well, maybe I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
People play those games, man.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, I know. You don't like much, but how do you feel?
Do I
about,
love Farmville?
No. How do you? Have you seen the new trailer for the Turtles, the Ninja Turtles?
Oh, the animated one? No, I have not.
It's not bad. It has that feel like the Spider-Man verse, the
multiverse.
The multiverse. Yeah, I couldn't get the word. Yeah,
well, that's everyone's doing that.
It kind of looks like that. I kind of dig the animation. I think.
Like a comic book style animation.
I kind of like it. It looks pretty cool. Like I said,
I missed my boat by the voiceover. John Cena got it.
Oh, is that which one is he going to?
He's Bebop.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm tripping.
You're right.
I'm thinking 20K, 23.
But yeah, I saw the trailer the other day, and it looks interesting. Like I said, it's fun. Like I said, I like the artsy look to it. But yeah.
He's
I'm a turtle.
He's in the movie. He just got cut.
He got cut out.
Yeah,
floor.
like I said, I'm just trying to make my way in there.
Got that buddy so he hits the floor. Dude.
Yeah, he always hit the cutting floor, man. I was in it, but
were you a turtle guy? Did you enjoy any of the turtles?
Oh yeah. I mean, the originals were great.
Yeah, I loved the first one. The first one was the best. And then, dude, remember the one with Vanilla Ice? Part 2.
Yeah, part 2 was good. And then, like, Turtles in Time, the video game, that was tight.
That was the best.
And then,
the Tumblr, man.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the newer ones, not really. I didn't really. No.
I couldn't get into them either.
I was a fan of the Nickelodeon one. When Caden was smaller, I used to watch it with him.
Bad. It wasn't bad. I liked it. I saw some of it too. The animation was pretty good.
The new ones, they just tried to. It's like they tried to make them too cool or something. It's like they're not cool.
No.
Well, when Donatello is building like technology stuff, it's like, what's the point of fighting then? Just build weapons and ships and like that's not what a ninja is. Y'all are supposed to be ninjas.
Yeah. And he was wearing like night vision goggles or something.
Yeah, it's kind of it's strange. And I was like, all right, cool.
And then I thought I took. I'm just surprised they didn't get in trouble. And whatever. I'm just saying, but Jackie Chan's going to be Splinter. So I didn't know if that was like frowned upon. But anyway, I'm just saying.
Well, that's weird because there's an argument. I forgot what it was. The Splinter's technically, I think it's Taekwondo or something, so it's Japanese. And they're like, "Oh, why is a Chinese guy teaching?" And I was like, "Wow, we're really getting into
this."
That's
a deep dive.
And then who really cares?
It's funny that the other deep dive is the whale's getting all kinds of backlash. Not backlash, but
because he's fat.
Yeah,
he's not fat.
They should have used the heavy person. They should have.
Yeah, they should have. And then that person died during filming, and it's like,
I was gonna say, you don't want the guy to actually.
And then you know what, they run into a roadblock with that. And my argument is always with this: if you ever seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, the actress that's his mom, the heavyset lady,
heavyset woman, and
she's not an actress. She's not an actress, so it showed, and she was.
No, I think the myth with that is they wanted to shoot at the house and they found her,
right?
And it's like, oh, perfect, we found the woman because we're not going to move her.
Oh, that's not true.
That's not true. I made that up.
Oh, I was going to say,
that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
If that's true, that's the most important fact I've ever heard in my life.
I was going to go with it. I was going to keep going with it.
Sold.
See if it was going to work, but. No, but that's why I always go back to that. Is like she wasn't I'm not against her. I mean, whatever. I mean, but I just didn't think she was that role wasn't good. She didn't play that role well. But that's because she's going to she's standing next.
What did you want with that role?
No. I'm
what
just
did
saying
you want from her?
No.
Yeah, seriously.
She's supposed to be a heavy-set lady. Doesn't get up.
Yeah, she's laying in a bed.
No, but just like her lines are just like they're very.
She has to die in the fire.
Yeah,
so it's like.
I don't know, just going against.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
If you haven't seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, you're like, come on, guys,
catch up.
And I think that was Leo, as Trent would say, Leo DiCaprio. I think that's one of his better roles, man. I think he should have got an award for that one.
Yeah,
he did really well, man.
Yeah, that was. It was very good.
Solid, man.
Well, but then again, why didn't they use
what did he have in that movie? He wasn't autistic. He was.
Was it?
He had something.
It was.
We'll call it a disability.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, no, it's funny because I was telling my wife, she's a nurse, and I saw this clip of a show called The Good Doctor. And in today's world where we're talking about there's so much content, they're like, this show's been on for like 9 years. I'm like, I've never even heard of this show. and then I watch a clip of it, and it is so overacted because he has autism, I think, in it. And it's just, I go, can you imagine writing every scene with this guy? And he's supposed to be like a young doctor, like a prodigy, but he just doesn't know. He's autistic, so he doesn't understand human interaction. And they just keep hitting it with every scene.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he doesn't understand. It's loud noises. He's going to freak. And it's like, every scene's like this. And I go, I can't imagine being an actor in this show and trying to take this serious.
Wow.
Is that the Bates Motel kid?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know his name, but
Yeah, well, no, they're always like, cause I was like, how's this show popular? Like, this would get really, I understand awareness and everything, but he's in every scene. And it's like, all right, we get it. Like, all right, how does he go into the world and become a doctor? It's like, just don't talk to him.
Yeah.
There we go. Problem solved. Be a boring show. Just don't talk to him. Let him do the crazy surgery, and then there you
on
go.
his way. You know what I found? I watch a lot of shows on TLC. Has a lot of cool shows like the 90 Day Fiance. It's like trash TV, but I do enjoy watching the 600-Pound Life, but not because I like is the technology, like the doctor. I think Dr. Naziri.
The guy from Houston.
Yeah. Dude, the way he does that surgery, he doesn't even get near the person no more. Like all the parts, all the
robots
go into,
dude.
and then he's over here in another room running the machine with it looks like a game, like a video game. He's not even before he used to do it by hand. He used to do it by hand, and now he's just in another room on this machine. It's insane.
It's because doctors wanted to drink.
I agree.
So it's like they're not shaking when they're inside your body. It's like, no, the robots don't shake.
Yeah, dude, it's intense, man. The way he does it, and it's just how fast it goes.
pretty good. Sorry.
No, yeah, but yeah, I find that TLC's got a lot of cool shows, man, and a lot of trash TV. Besides that one,
Can you imagine the creative room in TLC? It's like, all right, we did the dwarf thing, we did the 90 Day Fiance thing.
Oh God.
And then we got to find some other gold. Let's
Creative.
Go.
That's all it is creative.
I can imagine.
Let's go to the Appalachian Mountains, find some inbreds, and let's do a show on
See
that.
what sticks, man. Yeah.
I think it's going to be there's going to be a TV show of like a homeless guy or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Follow a homeless guy.
I'd be in, dude.
He just
he
just sits there all day.
I feel like it'd be real
man.
short.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
It's like this guy's not dependable at all. It's like, I wonder why.
The struggles of the perfect buggy.
Well, that'd be so depressing too.
And it'd be sad, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
I wanted the fun fact. 'Cause we were talking about acting and whatnot with the Forrest Gump, dude. There was a fun fact I learned the other day, and you probably know this, maybe. Forrest Gump. So they asked him, "Why did you talk like that?" They asked Tom Hanks, "Why did you talk like that in the movie? Where'd you find that?" And he's like, "Well, it was a little boy.
Yeah.
When he would talk. They would have conversations, and he would have that. He was from Mississippi, the little boy, and he'd have every word he had the G at the end, like the word. I can't do it, but he explained it. He goes, well, I'm not going to come up with an accent. I'm going to use his. So that's why, as he grew up and became Forrest, he used that kid's dialect. It was just great. The story was phenomenal. That little tidbit that he gave out was great. How that kid
Well, it's wild. There was rumors of a sequel.
I'd be down for that.
If
man.
you look at it, I think they were either going to do it around 9/11 or if it was, but there was too many. Like I think he was going to go to space. Like it sounded ridiculous.
Oh, for sure.
Creative.
Wow, dude.
But I'd like it. I'm like, whatever. It's Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks is great. He can't do no wrong, man. It's Woody. It's Woody.
We're talking about Forrest Gump in space.
Go in space. Yeah.
I mean,
How's that in?
I can see it. That movie, the first one's ridiculous if you think about it.
That's fair.
Yeah, 'cause he was a
like,
football star. You know, he's a.
but he was always
hero.
around world events.
Yeah, he's perfect. Perfect
Yeah.
timing, dude. Was he around the JFK thing? Did he do that? Was he in? Was that?
No,
is that in the movie? No.
No, I didn't think so.
Okay, that wasn't.
No.
I know he was the
It was Martin Luther
Watergate.
King. I think it was Martin Luther King.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was somewhere because he was on the steps of the monument, and then he.
right.
I
He
forgot.
met Nixon, I think.
Yeah,
I think he
Nixon,
helped
yeah.
plug in the speakers.
Yeah.
I think it was that way the concert could go on.
Yeah.
Or something-
The
something
rally.
ridiculous
It was a
like
big
that.
rally. Yeah. it was
You know, we were talking about multiverses. That'd be awesome. They did I always had this vision of they should make an Arnold Schwarzenegger multiverse movie.
well, okay,
And so
yeah.
all his characters he's ever played.
dude,
Oh, I can see that.
And
Yeah.
I
That'd be
mean,
all-
multiverse is hot right now. You
That'd
could do
be-
that with Tom Hanks.
Use Vinny's body.
Yeah.
He's been anybody, right?
That'd
I'd be
be-
all over Predator if that was the case.
Well, it's saying every
I'd be in
character,
there,
it's all in the same world, and it's like you got the guy from Twins, whatever his name is. That'd be kind of funny.
DeVito.
Yeah.
Danny
No, you
DeVito?
have that Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, that character. Yeah,
that character in it.
His name was
Yeah.
Vincent.
Vincent. Yeah.
Told you.
And it was funny. I don't know if the little it's not an Easter egg or whatever you want to call it, but when in Twins, Arnold's passing by a Stallone poster, he's like, and he looks at his own muscles. He's like,
That's that beef, man.
Yeah,
We
it
were
was
talking about that
was
beef.
that early beef they had together. Yeah. But it was just funny that little bit in the movie.
And I think that's why Dolph Lundgren was never popular, because he didn't start any beef.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he was on the same trajectory as them when they first started, and then he just bought him off.
He's in it now.
And I think it's because he didn't cause
he's-
problems.
He's the beef now.
He's in the beef now.
He's in it now.
Because Sylvester Stallone is upset that he's doing a spinoff, right?
Yeah, it's a spinoff.
Drago spinoff. It's kind of
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I think
Spinoffs are hot right now.
No, it is, but I think that's
But
Stallone's character, right?
Stallone's
Right?
not getting anything out of it,
Yeah,
though.
he's not getting a
No.
cut.
That was his character he
Yeah.
created.
Yeah.
Oh, then they'll
Ivan
probably
Drago.
go to court and
Oh,
cause
yeah.
some
Yeah,
some
sure.
issues.
If he dies, he dies, man. You know how it is. You know how it goes in the streets, man.
I mean, he went to Twitter first,
Is that what it was?
Stallone,
Yeah.
and he was
Twitter.
just like, "Oh."
And then
What are you doing? What are you thinking?
we always talk about this, and I always tell the guys this. My favorite Stallone offbeat movie is when he's in Rhinestone. He's a country singer with Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that's
They
gold. That's
accidentally made
gold,
that
dude.
movie,
That's
so-
gold, man. That's gold Stallone right there, dude. It's so good. If you ever check out Rhinestone, man, check it out. Everybody, check out
remember
Rhinestone.
that's what I thought it was when you said,
Oh,
who's
Urban
your
Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy. I was
Yeah.
like, for some reason I was thinking Rhinestone. I was like, I guess Sylvester Stallone's who I
Yeah,
picked.
it's either Dolly or Stallone, dude. No.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I was watching this podcast, and this was kind of brought up as a joke, but then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, this is actually going to be a thing at some point, because CGI is getting better and better and better and better. Eventually, you're going to be able to have a movie with Humphrey Bogart and
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio in it, and it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for the interview of Leonardo. He's like, it was always a dream to act with Humphrey.
I know,
American
yeah, that's
dream.
exactly what it'd be.
Like,
yeah.
well, you really didn't.
Yeah,
didn't actually
yeah,
do
yeah,
it, yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of a crazy thought to think of, in the future when, not if, but I promise you it's gonna be when.
Oh, yeah.
But like when a major actor is CGI, through the entire thing. We already kind of had some of that, even in Star Wars. We kind of had some of that, but when that happens, and who gets the award
Well, see,
if
I
somebody
think-
wins an award?
I think that's going to be character driven, not actor driven.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because, like for example, in the future they're still doing Marvel movies. They're going to have a CGI of Robert Downey Jr. if he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Playing
kind of
Iron
did
Man.
it in
Yeah.
the.
But they're not going to do like Robert Downey Jr. in some random XYZ movie.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No, because I think there's so many actors that keep coming up, and they're always gonna like. That's how Hollywood works. Who's the hottest actor right now?
Yeah.
and they were like, okay, well, maybe if we had Tom Cruise in this, we might, but he won't be the leading actor
Yeah.
because most people are like, he's dead. That's weird. But if it's like a side character that was already like for example, they do Top Gun 3.
Yeah.
Bring
It's like
Iceman back.
They
Yeah,
they
for
can
sure.
do that because he's part of the universe. So that
Yeah,
I can
right.
see it working.
Or like Mission Impossible 37.
something like that.
That's
But if they were
coming.
doing like some brand new movie and it's all like half the cast is CGI,
Yeah.
dead actors,
Yeah.
that'd be really
They
weird.
did it
That'd
in
be
the
weird.
Old Spice
It would be
commercial.
strange,
The
yeah.
Old Spice commercial with Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
He's in it, and he's the young.
But
Dolph
he's not
Lundgren.
dead though.
But, yeah, they made him young, kind of like what they did in
They
Robert
make
Downey Jr.
Casablanca 2 today. They might get away with it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll check it out. The other thing was, what was it? Paul Walker in the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
That was animated, right?
But I think that was
Wasn't it?
also
Just to fit the story, right?
like that was unfortunate series of
Yeah,
events
that was
because like,
terrible.
hey, we're not
That was
done
terrible.
filming.
I was gonna say he was halfway done.
Yeah, like what do we
filming it.
do?
Yeah.
And they handled it like better than like kind of Ghostbusters did the same thing
With
with Harold
Ramis.
Remus
Yeah.
because like they kind of like, oh, we can't forget him,
no,
but he's still part of that universe. How do we just put a picture frame?
yeah, just
And like there he is.
Yeah.
but
the
then like
brass-
no,
brass frame.
we're bringing
Paul,
him back.
Paul Walker's brother finished it, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think so.
He, like,
he was
finished
the
up in there.
stand-in.
Yeah,
technically.
They used that
But it was-
CGI face on
That
him.
car when he was pulling off, that was really good. I thought that was.
That's
a
what I'm saying.
cool
They
finish. That was a
wrote
cool
it
finish.
in. Well, that's
Yeah.
one thing I liked about Top Gun is they wrote Val Kilmer's character.
That's great.
They actually worked with his disability. He and so it's like it made sense.
It was great.
But when they're dead and they're like coming in as like a waiter or something like that, it would freak me out, but, like
Little
Audrey Hepburn, she's like
Yeah.
a cocktail waitress or
Yeah.
something,
little fun fact on Paul Walker. He was on one of the first Kellogg Corn Pops commercials for the cereal.
was he a kid, like young?
He's like
yeah, he's a
teenager.
kid actor.
He's a
Isn't he a
teenager.
Mouseketeer? I wouldn't
thought-
surprise me
I
if
didn't
he's a
know that.
I
Mouseketeer.
know
I saw him in the commercial. I was like, oh,
Timberlake.
hey.
Yeah.
Timberlake Masketeer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Timberlake and Britney Spears, and it was
Christina
Timberlake.
Aguilera.
Yeah, it was like a that group of singers and whatnot.
Yeah,
I'm in it, dude.
How do you be famous today? There's no Mouseketeers today, is there?
I don't think there is
TikTok.
Well, yeah.
You think TikTok's the way to get a movie
I
deal?
don't know if it's TikTok, but I mean it's certainly. I think that's going to be the future. Yeah, I think the medium for finding, actor talent is going to be. There's always going to be the stage, so there's always going to be anyone that's on stage that can translate to film. But you're gonna. I really do. I think you're gonna see some sketch comedy artists that are in comedy movies later on. And
But you still got to live like in L.A. because that's where all the work is, like the actual work.
Yeah. I think the day in day out work. Yeah, but larger projects. I don't know.
Everything's moving to Georgia though.
Yeah.
Well, no, I meant more of because you got to imagine how many people want to be actors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like you want to be an actor in Austin, you might be able to make a living.
Yeah.
Doing little things, but it's like L.A. is the hub for work.
For sure.
So,
if you're remote, you're finding like a.
Like you go to Georgia to be like an extra in the Marvel movie. And that's it.
So like
That's
if you
all.
look at
Walking
a lot
Dead.
of the movies now, when you look at the end, they have that Georgia production
Yeah.
company. So a lot of them are like
Yeah.
that. So they're moving a lot of
that little peach.
yeah,
Yeah,
peach
But
logo.
can is there enough work there to make a living?
maybe
Because not everyone's like a Tom Cruise. It's like I make my living because I'm in commercials.
Yeah.
Where are they making commercials? I have no idea.
right.
Yeah. It's just like kind of like I think just like YouTube was the thing for Justin Bieber when he kicked off his career. That's how he kicked off his career. I think like you say, TikTok's will be the next thing where you can launch your career, be it
But
a singer. Or
TikTok's
whatever.
terrible though.
It's terrible, but it's doing a lot of stuff for folks. And there's a guy that, like you said, the people have comedy business. A certain couple guys that I follow, and their comedy bits are taking them to the next level, and they got picked up in a movie or something like that. There's one guy that's in a movie now from I think a Peele. Kevin, what's that name? Peele.
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. He's in one of his movies now, and he was a TikToker.
But
man.
like
it's nuts. dude.
I don't know how often y'all use TikTok, but I feel like 60% of it is all technically misinformation.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Is. Yeah, because
I just can't get on board with TikTok. I can't.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Because you always get like testimonials and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
And
people
like,
always
can you
get-
believe this has happened? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think this ever happened. I think this person's making this up.
Yeah, and some of it's just opinions and whatnot, and but they use nice video to it, so it sways you.
Like if I wanted to control a population, that's how I'd do it. Through TikTok.
Oh, for sure, it would work.
Because my wife's all into it, and she's a nurse, so she's all about unions and all. I was like, half that stuff probably saying isn't right, like true.
Yeah.
It's like, this doctor mistreated me. I'm like, that probably never happened. Yeah.
The thing they do have that's cool on TikTok, one of the things the pages that I follow is like history, like things of abandoned buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the abandoned place in Louisiana, the theme park. They got washed out during Katrina. It's still there. There was I think there's a hospital that got washed out during Katrina. It's still there, and you can go in there. I'm sure it's a breaking and entering, but you can go in there and check it out.
That's where they filmed The
you see
Last
that?
of Us.
Did you see that?
Is that what
Nah,
it is?
I made that up.
No.
Did you see that?
I was gonna go with
that
it.
documentary about that theme park you were talking about?
The one in Louisiana?
Yeah. There's
s-
a documentary out that follows that, and it's it goes through the history of like how it started, and it was this massive part of the community, and then there was like some political corruption that that hindered it from growing and stuff, and then all of a sudden a lot of people lost their jobs, and so then it was bought and it was sold again, then it was bought again, and then Katrina hit,
Yeah.
and it was like.
And it was supposed to come back
And they
again
literally
after-
go, that's a wash.
And it's still abandoned like
Yeah.
today.
I'm
It's
looking at
still-
Astroworld.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's still just hanging out. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, somehow people are still dying there.
yeah.
Travis
But,
Scott, dude.
yeah.
Travis Scott.
Blame Travis Scott.
Well, say I haven't heard Astroworld since that. Like the word Astroworld
it.
since that.
And it's like
it's just a piece of
I,
land.
mean, I used to go to Astroworld.
me too.
Yeah,
dude. I used to
same.
get dropped off, dude, and be dropped off in the morning and get picked up at 10 o'clock at night when the fireworks are going off.
Yeah.
And you'd be all burnt and crispy and hungry and. But with the Travis Scott, it's funny how things like nowadays, like cancellation, it doesn't last long. It's like 15 minutes. Like he got canceled for that.
Well, he's probably
that-
never going to be able to perform Astroworld again.
Probably not. Yeah, probably won't be able to do that. But he's like Nike dropped him like right when that happened. Nike was in.
I mean, look at
release a shoe.
Kanye. That's the greatest fall from
Hey,
grace.
Adidas brought him back. I mean,
Yeah, they're bringing him
they
back.
brought him back. They brought him back.
You know
They
what
re-signed
happened?
him.
That
Oh,
money,
yeah,
dude.
dude, they
That
were
money.
losing.
Well,
they
They
lost
were
so much
losing.
money, and they
Let
were
me
like,
ask you this.
maybe it's not so bad.
I don't know Kanye that well in a sense of like his work of art and all that kind of stuff. Is he still making music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Yeah.
releasing music. That's probably why they made the deal with him because he's still making his bread and butter. So he could have another hit or could have, you know,
makes me
that kind
wonder.
of stuff.
What was the last song
Yeah,
he dropped?
he's keeping himself relevant. Is what
Well,
he's doing.
the last thing was the Donda album, right? That was
Yeah,
the last,
Don-
that was the
Donda,
last
yeah.
album.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
I don't know
that song's still
any.
popping.
I couldn't tell you. Like I know Gold Digger is one of
Yeah.
his songs, but I couldn't tell you when that came out. But
2000 or 90 something.
because I don't really understand the phenomenon
It was
with
like
him,
2000
like
something.
where because I know he designed shoes. Did he design those shoes, or is
Yeah.
that more of like, oh, I like that design. Can I put my name on it?
I think he designed the shoe, the original Yeezy. I'm sure that he's a team. There's a team now.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he has like.
Because he's got an interesting taste in clothing.
Oh, he's weird. He has. It reminds me of the Dare Elite project on
Dare Elite.
Mugatu's Dare Elite project. That's what it reminds me of. It's like they got trash bags on. It's got
different
paint.
ends.
space.
Yeah.
And it's like I think we were talking about that last time. Where I don't know if it was me or you talking about it. Where they got clothing now that's like $1,000 for a pair of jeans, and it's got paint spills, and it's just like
I like it. I mean,
paint-
that's where you're
you get a
buying
painter
your
that's
stuff.
over there painting, and he walks. He's not as cool as this, as this guy with this designer pants on. But I've always been a fan of Kanye. I've always liked his work, his art. He's a real artist.
Wait till
dude.
his albums have lyrics like what he's been talking about.
Oh yeah,
That'd
no,
be
yeah,
wild.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
wild. Like
Yeah,
this guy's
he,
just going for it, man.
He went for it, man. But like I said, like I said, he was a real artist. He had real art paintings and whatnot, and so that's the part I respect to him, that he's a real artist. Besides the music part, he's, like I said, I really dig it. But I dig his music as well too. He's talented, man. He's very talented.
I wonder how much of the stuff that he does is just far more calculated than everybody else.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
well,
honestly, what if we lived in a world where like he's actually not crazy at all,
And he's following like a
and he's
strategy.
doing all of this specifically on purpose to get a specific outcome?
I mean, but I also think that we still live in a world that you can't be 100% guaranteed of the outcome. So there is a risk involved making those.
But I mean, how much of a risk
Crazy.
is there if you're a quadzillionaire?
Well, yeah, it's one of those weird things, 'cause especially like the younger generation, because that's the kind of generation who sets the rules in the future. So it's like, if they didn't care for this, it's going to go another way.
Yeah.
Like if someone cancels you and it's the young kids, you're kind of screwed. Cause,
Yeah.
but I mean, look at like Taylor Swift. She's like untouchable. But then when she hits like 50, I wonder how that's going to be. Because she's not getting younger kids to like her.
And that's Trent's.
Tay-Tay.
It's his favorite. That's
That
his
goes
jam.
back
My
to
celebrity crush.
That's his
your
thing.
Jigsaw character, Madonna.
She's
She's just trying to stay relevant, but
yeah.
she's gotten so much heat about being on TikTok, and you're like you were saying earlier, your younger generation that's what they use is
Yeah.
TikTok. They're like, get this old lady off here, like
It's creepy. She's a
Which-
cat lady now.
yeah.
a cat lady. Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
She's just trying to stay relevant, but
No,
she
she's
doesn't know
she's
how.
the cat
she's-
lady. She's a cat
yeah.
lady. Like she's actually a
Panther.
cat.
That
We know,
panther.
talking about that lady who did all the plastic surgery to become a cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's got like the eyes.
That's what she looks like.
Yeah, she's very
Jeez.
sad, dude.
It's hot.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's hot. He hates everything, but that's hot, huh?
I got eclectic taste.
Yeah, no.
pulling up on
Man,
a tricycle.
dude, but TikTok is. I'm on there now. I'm on there now because, like I said, I'm trying to trying to feel our way out, see what we can find to get this podcast out there so people to watch us and listen to us.
I guess we should tell people who we're talking to, right? The 52 Podcast crew.
Yeah.
So check out their podcast, subscribe. We're going to take a quick break if you guys don't mind. I got to do the station ID, all that kind of stuff. So we'll be right back after some promos and bathroom breaks and all that kind of stuff. So stick around.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Hey, tune in to the Bridge Podcast TX Tuesdays at 11 a.m., where we are connecting commerce with community, interviewing business owners and leaders in the community, allowing the audience to peek behind the curtain of what inspires, motivates, drives these individuals to have meaningful, positive impact in this community. For more information about the show, log into irlonestar.com/TBPTX.
Remember to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on your computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with the Lone Star Community Radio.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
All right, we're back
Business office cleaning is available
with Lone Star Community Radio, Mornings of Lone Star, hanging in the studio. We're going to be live until we want to go off around 11 o'clock at the latest. So we're on YouTube, Facebook with Mornings of Lone Star Community Radio. If you haven't already, you can download our app, Lone Star Community Radio. Listen to us worldwide where we have an internet connection. And today's special guest, we got the 52 podcast crew in the studio, and we're slowly getting back from the bathroom, but we wanted to get back on the air. So we got Keith, we got Vinny, or Vincent, I guess that's Vinny Zuko. You can see the name underneath. Yeah, and we got Angel in the studio, and they have a podcast, a weekly podcast called the 52 Podcast. You can subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all the cool stuff. The 52 Podcast is produced here locally in Conroe, and it covers all sorts of wild stuff, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then just to kind of, like I said, we have a lot of personalities on the show. Like I said, Trent, he's got his 9 to 5, and then I wanted to let Vinny kind of expound on what he does in his off time.
Yeah, you were saying you're a professional wrestler.
Yes, that's a professional wrestler.
And you lift people up and throw them down.
Pretty much.
And then, are you with like a WCW crew, or is it?
So I wrestle with Texas All Star Wrestling.
Yeah.
That's my main.
Texas All Star Wrestling.
Texas All Star Wrestling. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them on. Just Google them. They're here local, here in Houston, but I do travel. I've traveled for other promotions. So I've been to North Carolina. I've traveled all over Texas, Florida. So that's what I do is just, hit the indie circuit. So you think about it this way. I'm in the indies. That's where your WWE and your AEW pull talent from.
Okay.
So they have their scouts just like anything else, like football, baseball. That's cool, man.
Yeah, the wrestling world, I imagine, is pretty dang big. What people don't really expect.
Yes, it's global. It's really big in Japan. I've been to Japan. They're very, very into it over there. The crowd's a little different because they respect it a lot more. As far as like the crowd is very no clapping. They're just they'll clap if you do a big move. But other than that, you can't. No crowd reaction. What? Same thing.
That's that black tie wrestling.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Same thing in Mexico. It's really big over there. It's more traditional. That's where you get your luchadors, your masked wrestlers over there. So yeah, wrestling it's pretty big.
So if a listener here is in Montgomery County, I know at Southern Star does it. I'm trying to think. There's any other venues around here that hosts like a monthly?
We do it in
deal?
Cypress.
Okay.
At the Cypress VFW. So that's monthly also. You can check it out there. It's kind of local.
Just to kind of hit on that, just want to make sure that everybody knows that the watering hole I'm at is the only place that has wrestling here. You know, the brewery that has it just want to be the first.
So actually, you're going to be there. You're going to be here on the 25th.
Yes, March 25th.
At Southern Star Brewery. Tickets are like what, $25, $15?
Yeah, $15. Get there early because it does pack out really quick.
It's fun.
My buddy,
It's a lot of fun.
one of my best friends, Alan, he's gone, and he's like, he keeps telling me to go, and I'm like, Saturdays are usually like my day with my wife, and then I don't know if she wants to go.
Hey, tell her you're gonna take her to see a good show.
Yeah, it's a good date night for sure.
Yeah, good date night.
Because my wife,
we should try that move. What do you think, baby?
This guy suplex me later.
I love it.
No, like 'cause my wife is not into. She doesn't like wrestling. She never has. But when she saw it in person, she's like, dude, it's so loud.
Yeah.
Like the mat is so loud, dude. She's like, this is interesting.
Live is always better.
Yeah,
It is
always,
significantly
always,
better live.
Way
Yeah.
better, dude. Like I said, because you see it on TV, and it's entertaining. I grew up watching. I love it, but in person, even better, dude.
Well, and I mean, Vinny said it best. It's a great show, you know, and like when you watch, I mean, think about it. When you watch any show on TV, any show of any kind, you know, it's like it can be good, or whatever. But then when you see it live, it's like, oh, it's so much better. It's just the experience is there, you know.
It's like, and I'm sure Trent can attest to this. Baseball.
Oh,
I can't watch it on TV.
Well, I can watch it on TV too.
Well, yeah, but I like it better in person.
Yeah.
The atmosphere, the
it
noise,
is so
the
much
crowd.
fun.
I love it, dude.
That's what we feed off too, is the crowd. If the crowd is into it, you know, that's it. It kind of feeds us. You know, like you said, just being there. If the way I was told and taught was that if you can hear the AC blowing in the building, you're not doing your job.
I'll go and just make Hal heckle you.
Yeah, hey, you can do that.
I remember we LT Gray Promotions did a boxing night over here at Lone Star Convention Center, and it was I think there's probably about 12 fights on it. And I learned really quickly, you don't yell, you suck. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that in boxing. So,
and the cool thing about the Texas All Star Wrestling and that's great. It's family friendly. You know, you see kids out there with their parents, and you see the kids. I see little girls, asking for blood. It's great, man. I see the little girls are, 10 or 12 years old asking. It's fun, dude.
You're jumping from
it's
the high ropes. Let's go.
It's awesome, dude. Like I said, and that's why we brought it to the brewery there, because it was a family thing, man. And it gets the parents stay and they hang out, have a couple of drinks, responsibly, and then the kids are having a blast, man. They're running amok and yelling, and it's cool.
They probably sneak on the mat too. You're like, what do you do? There's a kid on the.
Yeah, that's
one thing that Vinny showed me, and in the respect to Vinny,
that's like the ring that's our stage. That's sacred ground.
You body slam the
kid.
Yeah,
you have to that's like I said, that's our stage, and it's a lot of respect goes into that. We put a lot into our craft. That like if you're invited into the ring, that's different. Wipe your feet before you come into the ring. So like my son, I'm training him right now, and he knows that before he steps into that ring, he wipes his feet. So it's just something traditional that we've done, and this is way before me. Back in the 30s and 20s when they were wrestling. Mm-hmm. So like it's a traditional thing.
That was back when that spandex was way high.
Yeah,
way up here,
and it's also generational. So when I say generational, you have your like. You grew up with your Hulk Hogan's, your Macho Man's, if you're older, who we're talking about. Mm-hmm. But then you jump into your Stone Colds, The Rock, and then your John Cena's, Roman Reigns. Those are your generations of just watching wrestling. So it's a lot goes into it. The wrestling community, as far as us, is very small. Families, you guys see it on a big stage, but for us, I could share a locker room with somebody that you've seen on TV 2 weeks ago. So it's just very tight knit.
Yeah.
So, but it's a good show. Like the family gets into it. Yeah. The kids get into it. I promise you, you take your rambunctious kid, he'll be asleep by the time you get home.
Oh yeah.
So you guys gotta come check it out.
Got all the energy.
Yeah. What happened to the cool costumes?
Still do.
Because
Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, the paint.
Like I've started
The
noticing
little
that because I grew up. I would say like I was on the tail end of the Hulk Hogan time, and then like WCW started getting really big, and then because people had really cool costumes. You had Sting, Mysterio, and then all of a sudden, like when John Cena was popular, I was like, they're just wearing black tights. And that's it.
Jorts,
jorts,
man. Everything up is jorts in the hall.
Because like I always imagine like Stone Cold Steve Austin like having a conversation with whoever the creative director is. He's like, I'm not wearing anything that's not black. And so it's like it's gotta be black. It's gotta be shorts. Or it's just like that's it. And I'm gonna tear off my shirt and that's it. I'm pouring beer. And he's like, well, we got this cool idea. We're gonna put wings on you. Like, no, I don't want wings.
Yeah,
And
no. In all honesty, it's a running joke, but it's creative. Like we talk about anything else, if I'm Vinny Zuko, if I'll keep my name, I have a certain look, I live my gimmick, I'm a biker, I wear leather vest, boots. But if I get called up to the show, Triple H might be like, you know what, we're cutting his hair, we're putting him in this.
put a pink mohawk.
Yeah. And
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like if I want to make it to that level, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Well, because you always hear stories from like successful wrestlers in the sense of like, where's your name come from? And that's where they have like an origin story of the name. And then some of them got to keep it, some of them didn't. And I think like the Undertaker was one of them, where he wasn't always the Undertaker. He was something
Booger
else.
Red.
Yeah, and then somewhere along the line, they became the Undertaker. That's
right. He got that call up.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, and I mean, even after he was called up, The Rock wasn't The Rock, right?
No.
He was
Dwayne. That's it. Like
Well, his dad was a wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't think his dad was even called The Rock.
Rocky.
But no, he was Rocky.
Rocky.
So that's where he got the name from. And like I said, his dad was there before he was. And when he got the call, he was living with his parents. And they were like, "Is this?" Because when McMahon calls you, like you said, like with the Undertaker, he was Booker Red, but he calls him. He's like, "Is this the Undertaker?" And he's like,
Yeah.
Who?
All right.
Yeah, the Undertaker. So when The Rock got the call up, his dad was Rocky Johnson. But he's like, "Hey, is this The Rock?" And his dad's all talking on the phone. And he's like, "Yeah, this is me. What are we doing, Vince?" He's like, "No, I'm looking for Dwayne."
Rock.
I'm looking for Dwayne. So it's just crazy because it's a traditional family thing. Like my son, I don't know what he has his little moniker, but it's just we're gonna keep the generation going, keep it alive.
That's what I like about Vince McMahon. At one point, he's like, you know what? I want to get in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. I mean, this is my thing. I'm gonna do it.
He got juiced up.
And then I'll just
Juiced
get
up,
juiced
man.
up.
Isn't he from Houston, McMahon?
Probably.
I think it's
No, he's from New York, Stanford.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen him a couple times at St. Luke's Hospital in the Woodlands. That's
His
what made me wonder
brother
that.
at one time lived here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that might have been it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I remember my brother
Do you
saw
stalk him or something? Like,
No, you'll see the
He's outside his house
Yeah,
with
it's like
binoculars.
just a little
You'll
bit.
see the WWE jet fly into the Montgomery airport because it's a little private airport.
That
Oh
Walnut
yeah,
Cafe, dude.
that one.
And-
that one's a lot of high
is
rollers
that,
go through
is
that.
that a cool scoping spot right there?
It's actually pretty dope. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, for him.
Yeah, when you're stalking people, it's really cool.
No, but that airport, that airport really does bring a lot of high rollers in.
It's like I said, it's a little private airport, and if you're landing that private jet, that's where you want to go. You don't want to go to no Hobby or
Around the tree.
or the old Intercontinental, but
Is it true? The story's true. I don't know if it's true. I read about it. Is it true that what's his name? Razor Ramon gave Sting the black and white gimmick. Like he apparently that's what I was reading some little article where what was that? Wasn't that Razor Ramon? What's his name? What was his real name? Razor Ramon.
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall gave Sting that look because Sting wanted to do something different and he wanted to reinvent himself.
He wanted to reinvent himself. Yeah, because he was like like the WCW days. He was he had his
orange
flat top, blonde flat top.
Yeah.
I forgot about
He
that.
had crazy colors,
Yeah.
but he wanted to, like you said, reinvent himself.
Yeah.
Because you got to stay relevant, like we were saying, like Madonna. She went to Jigsaw.
Yeah.
So you have to stay relevant. You have to create a new character. Not necessarily you can keep your gimmick. But you're just transitioning into something else. That's why the Undertaker's been doing it for 30 years.
He's awesome, dude.
And he kept it that way. Same thing with Hogan.
Yeah.
He went to, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, to NWO,
Oh, yeah.
you know, Hollywood Hogan, which he was the bad guy because he didn't want to stay in that character because he would have just washed out.
Remember when he did the beard? It was all black.
Yeah,
It was
that was-
weird, dude.
that was
The beard was weird
NWO.
looking, dude. It didn't look right.
So
Didn't look right.
yeah, this is.
I used to watch his MTV show.
And
with his
like
family
we
and
said,
whatnot,
you know,
yeah.
wrestling, I love it. I love it. I've been doing it for a while. It's hard on your body. That's when we talk about, you know, I'm trying to transition into other things. Like I was blessed for these guys to bring me on their podcast, you know, bring me into the podcast world. You know, Vinny Zuko is here. That's what I'm saying. Like I want to transition even more. I want to go into movies.
Yeah.
So I got to get my foot in that door.
Yeah. Like I said, we're getting our feet wet here. This is something new for us, and we're these old guys on the porch trying to figure out how this algorithm stuff works, and you know how these cameras work, and you know,
I got to figure out what TikTok is first.
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll work it out. But it's interesting to see what you have to do. You have to do a lot of the social media stuff to get any kind of action, any traction, any kind of attention. You have to do the social media thing, and it's crappy because back in the day, it could be word of mouth, and now you can't. That doesn't work.
I mean,
it works. It still works. It still works.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. You can still tell somebody, "Hey, follow us" or whatever. You know, but the social media thing reaches out so much further with somebody that lives in, like you said, Australia or something. Could be like, "Oh, I can relate to these idiots," you know, and start listening to us. So I don't know. Social media is a thing, man. And
there's in platforms like YouTube, there's a lot of different ways to grow, and a lot of podcasts that you see that have millions and millions of subscribers. They didn't start grassroots. They bought a lot of followers, and which sort of gets you to a certain point. But then you're going to see like a plateau where you just don't really gain any more followers. Podcasts and shows that start grassroots will start slow, but it'll be a constant growth of followers. And there's all kinds of data that backs this up. But I was watching. This is before we even started the podcast. I just researched it, like crazy, and these podcasts that buy followers ultimately end up not being, very, relevant to pop culture and stuff, because there's just not that growing crowd, but starting grassroots, it's certainly a grind, but the idea is that there's steady growth and not a plateau to.
You got to tune in your craft.
Yeah, and then the thing about it is, and I know it's like we were talking about scheduling, where we have to be on the same page, and it's hard for us because he's got a 9 to 5, he's got a 9 to 5, and I tell him, I know it's we have to get.
Did you hear
cat?
that?
Yeah, it's a cat. I think it sounds like a cat.
That would be a kitten.
A kitten, yeah.
It's in the wall.
I don't know.
Where's it at?
Yeah, it sounds like it's behind the TV.
I'm curious. Can I stand up and look?
Is that a bird?
It sounds like, I don't know if it's a bird or a cat.
The secretaries outside are wondering what's going on also.
All right. But anyway, trying to do these things, trying to all get together on the same page is. But I tell me, I know it's annoying trying to, sometimes it's annoying to have to be, we have to make sure we're here because in this early stages, it's so early. You have to make sure you don't miss, because I've seen guys that they have a great podcast, like friends of mine, they've had great podcasts, but we're not going to do episodes for next month. Yeah, I know. It's for like a month, so it kind of goes away and you lose your momentum. So that's why I don't want to lose our momentum. That's why every Monday we get after it.
So Mondays at 7.
It's a thing.
It drops.
It's a thing. Yeah, every Monday. Eat, sleep. Either we're dead or sleep, or I'm sick, or whatever. We're gonna.
This is my third job.
Yeah.
So and like I said, I enjoy chatting it up. Shooting the S with these guys, and we kind of feed off each other. We have fun.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
It's
good times. Man.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah, and then you can just kind of there's not really a set thing. You just kind of have like bullet points. They're like, let's talk about this maybe. Let's talk about this maybe, and then it'll just go. It goes like takes off.
There's
in
so much
different
stuff
directions.
going on.
Yeah, there's so much things going on with just you can just go. I usually go to Twitter and just see what's trending, and just kind of catch something that catches my eye. And I'm saying it has to be something that's worth reading or something, or just interesting. But reading a lot of articles, reading a lot of news, and I was always inspired by talk radio. Was always my thing. I listened to a ton of talk radio as I was a kid growing up. I was a nerd, dude, growing up listening to talk radio. And Rush Limbaugh was one of my, not politics aside, just he was a big role listening to him every day, and it was just a big inspiring.
It's okay.
No. I'm just saying it's not even. No, I'm just saying it's like I don't. Yeah, it's over.
okay.
No,
like Rush Limbaugh.
No. But politics, I just enjoyed listening. He had great stories. He had the way he said things and told them were great.
Yeah, I can't imagine being a producer for his stuff.
It was rough. Bo Snerdley was his producer.
I don't know if I could.
You're just constantly stressed out.
yeah,
it's
dude.
like imagine being Alex Jones' producer.
He's the best, dude. He's the best.
And he's like, all right, here we go.
Down real quick.
See, you say that like in talk radio. Back when I was younger, when I used to drive truck over the road, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Like you're in the cab by yourself driving, and you listen to all that.
Yeah.
You know, you listen to talk radio. You just like I can tell you right now, a lot of the radio, I can't listen to today. Like it's just the same when you're on the road for 8 hours. You get that same thing over and over and over again. That radio play, and it just gets.
I think it comes down to talent, and then the freedom to perform, because that's why podcasts opened up a huge door for talent. Because like, I don't have to have 4 producers tell me what's up or what I have to talk about. Now I can just do whatever I want. And especially with technology, it's like it's so easy to find a podcast, get it. Spotify is like the worst app. I don't know how it's bad, but it's for some reason doesn't work half the time for me. I don't get it. But at least I'm getting something that I don't have to have the radio and be in a certain, proximity of it.
Yeah, and it gives us more options to listen to what we're interested in.
Yeah.
Because before, like, I don't know, the radio show was just putting in a certain tape and pressing play because you would hear that same song, 10 times throughout the day. And it's just like.
Coming from me, it's difficult to set that up.
Yep.
Because someone has to do it, and I don't care. And I'm like, so I have no passion doing country music, and I'm like, just let it play.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
So I was actually telling him after the show that we did for the 52. I had a radio show in college, and but it was back in the day,
right.
Where you were like manually loading sweepers, and there was a computer, but it was like. You would have to load everything piece by piece, second by second.
Yeah, this is loaded piece by piece.
And then you hit play and it just kind of goes through. But I had that radio show for 6 months and then it got canceled.
See, that's something I didn't know. Like we were talking about,
he
behind
said White
the
Lives Matter.
Yeah,
real big trouble.
That's that behind the curtain. That
I didn't say that, by the way. Anybody that's listening.
So I didn't know how radio works. It just you hear the same stuff over and over again. Where
people want to get paid, and it's like, we're not going to pay like a Howard Stern anymore.
No,
it's like, podcasting is so much bigger now.
I was just going to say that's another thing that podcast sort of brought out. We were talking about listening to talk radio, and I'm literally going to leave here and drive to Dallas, and I'm going to listen to 4 podcasts on the way to Dallas.
Knock 'em out.
Here at the station, what I'm trying to do is kind of a hybrid of you have your broadcast channel, which is 104.5, 106.1. It's 24/7, and it features content we produce. But majority of all of our content is produced for podcasts, for YouTube, for FM. So it's kind of like a station.
Yeah,
in a sense, so you get everything, and then
different shows on the station.
Yeah, and then you get like, I like that show. Then you can go subscribe to their podcast because we have listeners who have no idea there's 20-something shows on here.
Yeah,
they have no idea.
Right,
and it's like I just like Mornings of Lone Star, which is great because I'm more of a morning show, so I have to be live and I have to be here. So if we didn't have an interview, we'd be playing music or I'd be doing the weather, and so you can still tune in on the app and stuff and hear me, but then you won't see me the whole show because I can't play music on YouTube and stuff like that. That'd be tight if I could. We'd do a real disco party in the morning.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
After,
there it is.
Yeah,
that's what you need for this table. You need to drop a disco ball right here.
And we have like the word of the week, and when someone says it, it's like,
yeah, beams coming in.
What
lasers
is the word of the week?
Stuff.
Today's Friday. The word of the week.
I don't know.
Patty.
Epstein.
Gold. Oof. That's sketchy.
How are we getting canceled so many times on one show?
I like it. I like conspiracy theories, so it's always fun.
Oh, that's Vinny's back door there. That's his,
Yeah,
that's
you don't
his-
see the
that's
foil
his
under
thing.
the hat, but
Hey,
it's there.
That's his thing.
I haven't talked to you guys about this. I got one next episode.
Okay.
We're gonna talk some conspiracy.
Right on.
theories
Hey, I'm
next
ready.
episode.
I'm there.
Right on, man.
Well, I mean, I always like the current conspiracy theory is this bank stuff going on because I don't know anything about banking or anything like that.
I know.
But there's when you see these numbers of how much money's involved, and you know how today's money isn't cash, it's just like a hard drive, and it's like I'm thinking to myself, like it's so easy. Like why? What's going on here? Is this all made up? I feel like it's all made up.
Yeah.
And like you're just kind of telling it's oh hey, by the way, this is what happened. They lost $200 billion. But we'll find it. It's somewhere else. Like someone else
We'll
has
find
it. We'll put it over here. And I like that. I like that a lot because you get these people who wear suits and they don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
They have no idea where the money. Like they're like, oh yeah, it's on a computer. It's going over a
It's
wire.
in that vault right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in there, but
It's
they
not,
tell
it's
me
not,
it's in there.
not cash. It's not gold. It's a file. It's an NFT. It's an NFT.
Did you guys hear about the Bitcoin guy?
There's a lot of
killed
Bitcoin
him?
guys.
No. The guy that he bought
The
a bunch of
FTX?
Bitcoin when it first came out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's now worth like
27.
200 something. What is it?
27,000 per Bitcoin. What are you talking about per Bitcoin?
Oh no. His the Bitcoin that he has is worth something like 200 something million dollars.
But can he cash out and get that?
No, he can't.
You can't.
Because he doesn't remember his password.
He's got one more try, right?
He's got one more try. Yeah, he's got one more try on his password.
I
yeah.
remember that guy.
Yeah, that's how. That's
reading
what's
about it.
amazing
Yes,
to me about
it's
that
good.
technology because it's been around for a while, and it's like it's weird to me that the
funny,
banks
dude.
haven't really taken that in.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, you know that joke with the other Bitcoin guy where he lost his hard drive and he's paying people to go through the landfills to find it. He's paying people. But then again, it's like by the time you find it, it's gonna be worth nothing or whatever. And like again, that whole world doesn't make sense to me. One day it's like, oh, we don't have, it's worth nothing now. Like what happened? Like did the power go off at the building? Like
No, I just
they
personally
rebooted
that
it,
new
yeah.
McLaren. That was your money, right?
Yeah.
Whose money was that?
yeah, and like that's where the whole banking world does not make sense to me. And I feel like if I did understand it, I would take advantage of it 100%.
for
Like
sure, dude.
cheat people, steal their money. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
is really easy, guys. You guys are all idiots.
You know, we need
like,
to get,
I'm
There's so
gonna-
many crypto people that are laughing at us
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
Wolf
They're
of
like,
Wall
"We need
Street.
money,
That's
dude."
that Wolf of Wall Street right there. The penny stocks.
penny stocks. Yeah, we also need to do the Superman thing. The Superman code when he got that, and they took them. He was taking remember on Office Space, he was taking
taking
every
a penny,
Yeah.
every
yeah,
transaction,
yeah.
That thing in
and
the
stuff
trade,
like that.
that's you're taking that penny. Well, doesn't that penny go to the handicapped kids? He's like, it's just a penny. It's just there. Anyway, I think that Superman thing was that file they stuck in there, and I think that's what Superman with Richard Pryor. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
with Richard Pryor, yeah.
he was in that one. But that I always go back to that when I think about crypto, and that's what I'm saying. Like the 52, that's how I take it. Like I think about Bitcoin,
what's
and I
crazy
go take it to that.
is I was talking to somebody and they were chatting about going to these different banks because the bank guarantees up to a certain threshold if the bank closes. So people are getting their money out of banks and dividing it between like 10 banks so they get the 250,000 covered and stuff like that. And I go, man, is tomorrow the apocalypse? Like, is this where it
Yeah.
starts? How do I even know? I didn't get a text about it. And
Let
it's
me know
like,
about it. eh?
well, can you imagine like the Amber Alert kind of stuff goes off and it's like the world is ending. Prepare for, not knowing what's happening. I'm like, oh, great.
Gotta get that toilet paper.
Oh yeah.
No, I was
Bottle of water,
Get that
man.
bottle of
I
water
was
and toilet
shopping,
paper.
Get some hints.
and I guess it was right next to one of the colleges, but they were running that the little warning system,
Oh,
like
okay.
over the PA, and like people just started stopping and
Like,
listening.
is this how it is?
Yeah, and they
Is
were
it?
like, what's going on?" And I was like, "I don't know." And it was like, and then at the end of it, this is just a test. But if you're blaring it over the PA,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
you know,
Paying-
and people were just
yeah.
going by, like people were actually stopping and like listening. You know, you could see it in their eyes; they were about to panic. But and it's like, oh, this is just a test. Like, just imagine if that wasn't a test.
Well, that's what happened in Hawaii.
Yep.
Some dude hacked into their, because we're the emergency signal, so
Right.
104.5, 106.1. So after that happened, we got all these reports like, this is what you need to do, secure your FM stuff. But yeah, some guy hacked into it and was like, this is gonna be really funny. I'm gonna send a text to everybody saying there's a ballistic missile on its way over to Hawaii.
Oh man,
Dude.
But okay, like, was there ever a moment during when COVID first started that you were like, all right, this is when is it happening? When
Yeah,
when
for
when's
sure.
the trash can fire world gonna be starting?
yeah, it crosses your mind. It does.
I remember, and this I mean, because this was something that literally nobody knew anything about, and I remember for I don't know, maybe a day and a half, I was like, can I open the window? Like what is this? Is this the post-apocalyptic world? You
And
know,
then people were bringing home their groceries and wiping them off. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you doing, man?
That's
Like,
that Orson Welles right there.
dude.
Well, yeah, because it was
Scary, man.
it was funny because like
first you feel.
I've said it before. Like my wife is a nurse, and so when nothing really changed for her,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is kind of weird. Like when you watch TV and you're listening, like this is crazy. But
Yeah.
when she's just doing her normal thing, I'm like, what about me? She could get me infected.
Yeah.
yeah.
And but yeah, I think the only thing I remember seeing that was close. Remember that it was in Portland when they had that zone, the chop zone.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only thing I could think of. Like, someone finally
Chad?
did it.
Was it
Yeah,
Chad?
Chad. They
Yeah.
finally
Yeah.
did it. They got their own thing, and it's like, it's gonna be chaos there for
Yeah.
how long is it gonna
Chaz.
last? Is it Chaz?
Chaz,
Hit the cutting room
and then
floor,
it changed to Chop.
Yeah, hit the cutting room floor, man.
Then it changed to Chop.
Yeah.
What was it? No, wait, what was it?
Chad,
It was
I thought
both.
I
It
thought
started.
both.
It started as
Yeah.
Chaz,
Yeah.
and then it changed to Chop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was.
What is it
all,
now?
It was all the. It's
Just back to normal, back to the
It's back-
street.
it's
You
back to
know,
normal.
It's back to Portland,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it didn't
back-
change at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
Same.
well, in
Same.
like 5
Same.
years, they're gonna put like a memorial for it.
Oh, I'm
Or
sure.
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
COVID zone.
yeah.
Just the mask.
You know,
fun.
it's just it was crazy to watch that because it felt very, it felt very fake dystopian. You know, where it was like okay, this is.
Yeah.
I feel like you're trying a little bit too hard. Nobody's wearing fingerless gloves yet, so we're not.
Well, it was like
we're
its
not
own.
post-apocalyptic.
It was like
yet.
its own Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is awesome. This is crazy. This is gonna get. I mean, I can't imagine living there. That's not part of it. And they're like, oh, these guys, like, come on, I'm next door to this. I just want to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
but you had people from all over like going there just to
to go get involved, man.
to go get involved, to
Yeah.
go look at it, check it out. You know,
weird,
even if
dude.
they were on the other side of the barrier, they wanted to see what was going on.
But that was the only thing I could think of that really took it to
Yeah.
where you think everyone's kind of like, where's this going? Like,
Yeah.
that was the only place I can think of that was just chaos because of just no one was sure what was going to happen.
Jeez.
Because the toilet paper thing was pretty wild.
Yep.
It was weird,
Wow.
man.
That was pretty wild.
I there was I had a couple of hairy situations where I was like, I'm gonna have to.
Hit the,
I'm about to figure something out.
got the
man.
hose off. You know, you got to be
Well, you,
like
you just take paper, like magazine paper, and crumple it a couple times, make it soft. I mean, I don't know how sanitary
Tissue
that
paper.
is.
Pulp Fiction
but
it, dude, in the backyard and just hose on. Here's a bar of soap, prison style, county
That's
style.
true.
Hose on.
Funny.
But yeah, that was. I was like waiting. I was like, this is especially here in Montgomery County. Like nothing really changed.
Nah, nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just another day at
So,
the office, man.
The only thing that I ever
put a
felt
mask
weird
on.
was like people judged me for not wearing a mask. And I
Yeah,
was like,
I
oh,
got it
I
all the
forgot.
time.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
It didn't change much up here. Even for us, it was just kind of. We closed for a couple weeks, and then it was back to normal.
Yeah.
It was back to
Well,
normal.
my favorite one was the way people give my wife looks because she'd be wearing scrubs, and they're like, we cannot be around this person.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
Contaminated.
Dude, I got,
Yeah.
I got bad allergies, so people
Oh,
are
yeah.
constantly looking at me like, "Oh, this guy's about to die right now," you know. And I'm just like sneezing because there's, you
he's
know,
he's the American bat. He's that.
Yeah,
he's,
yeah.
he's that bat.
yeah.
No,
But now we just every day a bank's gonna close, and now we're like, hey, where's my money?
Yeah.
I'm like, at least I don't have to pay my debts, right? Is that how it works? No, probably they'll probably find me
yeah.
somewhere somehow.
student loan, man.
I don't-
Student loans are killer, man.
Yeah, well,
Dude.
it's weird to me because we're now at that age where I feel like this is kind of the same when we were growing up and our parents were going through something similar.
Yeah.
But we don't really know because we haven't experienced it. Because it's like, oh, eggs are expensive now. Gas is expensive. Like I feel like this has already happened. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of no one really knows. They just kind of do it, and then like like for gas, for example, I always had a theory that they know they can't make X amount of dollars consistently, so they lower it to make it easy people buy more gas.
Yeah.
And when they hit that threshold, like, oh, we sold so many gallons that we now know they're going to be buying it. So let's crank it up, and we know they're going to, for like the next 6 months, they're going to pay that price, and we're going to make so much more money. But we can't do that every time.
Yeah.
Because you can't just constantly, make X amount of dollars. They want to make.
Oh yeah,
That's my
crying wolf,
conspiracy
dude.
theory.
Can't cry wolf. And that
When I
makes
first
sense.
started driving, gas was 99 cents.
Dude, I remember them days, man. It's
That's it, and now it's like what?
no, it's like
280.
No,
Yeah.
3.
Well, I always love when you pull up to the gas station and you look at the what do you call it? The little tank you're pulling up to. the previous person's price is usually on there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, man, am I going to be paying that? I'm like,
Oh no! See that's the difference between me and you. I pull up and I see that, and my first thought is, man, that guy was rich.
He's got money.
He pulls off in that dually.
yeah.
Sorry
It's,
for your damn luck.
Yeah.
man.
One part that bothered me, I mean, I haven't had an Arizona tea in a while, but I saw it this morning. We're at the gas station. I was like, it still says 99 cents, but they're $1.20. I'm like, what the heck?
What was that Dollar General store or whatever? They're like, hey, we got to raise it to $1.10 or whatever.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
was thrown
then
off a
change
little
your
bit.
name.
Yeah.
I was thrown off because it still says 99 cents.
Yeah, I wonder how they did because I guess they made so many cans of it, so just
Yeah,
they're stuck with the 99.
Class action lawsuit right there. I want my Arizona tea to be $1, man, 99 cents.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff, man. That's the good times, man. Yeah, we were talking about how back when I was a kid, and I'm probably the oldest guy in the room. When I was a kid, they had that gas shortage and stuff, and people were and they had the big lines for the gas back. That's when I was younger. I was very young, and I remember seeing those things where the gas line was crazy. But now it's just the same thing like you said. It's the same
I don't know.
thing. Yeah.
Well, it's like what's weird to me, especially with all the technology we have, it could just go at any moment, and there's no warning. Even though we have like this device that's constantly connecting us to stuff, because it's just the way it happened, and it's just like boom, done. Like, what do you do?
Have you seen the new gas pumps at that HEB that opened up in Willis?
No.
Like the whole thing is like a screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
nice.
whole gas pump is like a screen.
Is it watching you?
And I don't know.
Hope
It
so.
probably does your
Probably.
laundry. To be honest with
Hope
you,
so.
it is.
Hey, when they shut off everything, me and Keith will probably still be able to drive around for a little bit.
I can drive around for
yeah.
yeah.
They're not gonna turn my car off.
They can't, dude.
I pulled up and I've never felt so much like an old man. Like I pulled up to the pump and I was just like looking at it like,
Oh, there's not a physical button to push for
no,
what kind
it's
of
all a
gas you
screen.
want?
No, it's all a screen.
So how do you know?
all screen.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I mean, I was standing there like, so it's funny because anytime you give any technology to old people, they just hold it like it's gross, right? So like you give them a phone and they're like, I don't know what to do with this, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I felt like pulling up to that pump. It was just this big screen, and I was like, where's the coffee? And try to get the little coffee that pops out.
You want to touch it?
Yeah.
He throws his hands
napkin,
up.
I'm done. Hanky out and stuff. I don't want to touch it, dude.
Wipe it
I
down.
don't wipe it down.
Right,
No,
Keith?
huh?
Too many changes.
Oh, I hate it, dude. I'm 46 now, so hitting that 50, that half the century mark there, and it's scary, man, to see the things that change, and you're nervous to do things because you're like, well, I like doing it this way. I'm gonna do it this way, but you got to
Like
go with the times. So
One of my favorite like old man stories is my grandfather bought like a new car, and it was like a Explorer or something, and it had all the new stuff in it, like the sink and like the warning lights on the rear view mirrors. And after about 2 weeks, he's like, "Can you come over here and show me how to work this car? Because I don't like this."
Yeah.
And then we couldn't turn off all the features. You can't turn them off. So he sold it back. He's like,
Oh,
I just
nice.
need an older. I go, yeah, you just need a car before 2010.
Yeah, right.
Just buy a used car. That's what he ended up doing because he's like, I can't do it. I get like I'm driving. He's like, beep 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 beep. He's like, what's beeping? What's beeping? And then he can't
He
do
needs
it.
that maintenance vehicle
Yeah,
that they
the-
sell
yeah, the white
everybody.
one.
The one,
The
the
white
white
one.
one that
The
doesn't
white
just
pickup.
roll the windows
Yeah.
down.
Manual.
Oh, I was
that white fleet.
I told him I
Yeah.
was like, you should just get a Lotus and just get one of the, like the bare bone Lotus. You ever seen?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you were talking about bare
Yeah.
bone Lotus. Doesn't even come with
Nothing.
doesn't even come with a passenger seat.
No.
It's just a seat and a seat belt and your shifter. That's all you get. No radio or anything.
That's how I feel every time I update the software on my phone. Like I finally learned how to use the phone or whatever, and then I update the software, and I'm like, I don't
All the
know.
corners all
I'm
around.
gonna go back.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine when I updated Windows 11. I was like, oh my God.
Everything's completely different.
Everything's a little different. A little different.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's like the update on the iPhone, the new one. It took an hour to update it, and then all it did was give me when you go to the home screen, the clock. It's just the numbers are a little sleeker. That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
2 hour
Little-
update.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just give me my fluorescent bulb.
Dude, it's just,
No,
it's weird.
it's funny because those changes are so small.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look like 10 years ago at the iPhone, you're like, oh man, that's bad.
It's small, dude.
It's
tiny,
an alien
Yeah.
technology.
Little,
All
dude.
rounded. And
It's all little, dude.
plastic on the back.
So the real
Yeah.
question we have to
Good.
ask is, how are we going to end up on top when the apocalypse happens? So that's really what we have to focus on right now, because there's going to be people who are the people who are the dead people, and there's going to be alive people. So
I
how
gotta
do
watch
we
all the episodes?
How do you
of
become
Doomsday
alive?
Preparation.
how do you keep yourself alive? I mean, I feel like we're not doing the training right now.
No,
we're not
absolutely
doing
not.
combat training. Well,
I'm
I
not
guess
keep-
Vinny's kind of had some.
He's
He's
good.
got
He's-
some combat
I
training.
I got 0 cardio, so we're in trouble.
Like, how
I'm in
many
trouble,
weapons
dude.
do we need? What's realistic? You know,
I'm gonna
See,
go,
you
go
guys are
back and
thinking
watch
about-
Gladiator a few times.
You guys are thinking about this all the wrong way here. It's not about combat. You're gonna have to be a businessman. So you need to be right now. You need to be stocking up on toilet paper. You need to be stocking
True.
up on some water bottles,
Oh, yeah.
and then you're just a businessman afterwards. Just like
No,
you
I
said.
thought about this.
moving chips, dude. I mean,
Commissary.
Everybody has their little
Commissary,
niche,
dude.
right? Everybody has their little niche.
Yeah.
Like, I can do combat. Yes, I can. But at the same time, I can also, fix things.
yeah.
Like, this guy right here.
You have to
when
be
you-
useful. What's
Yeah,
your
you have to be
use?
useful.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he could broadcast to anybody, or you could broadcast to anybody. Everybody has their own little niche.
I'm screwed then. I'm not
So,
useful. So
Hey, if you have no common sense, you're in trouble.
Conducted, dude.
Well, that's what I think. The Last of Us ended. I think on Sunday. I think that's when it ended.
I wanted to ask you about that.
And
And I gotta go watch it.
Did you watch the finale? You
yeah, I
watched
watched it. I watched it.
I mean,
Hates it. He hated it,
Like,
right? He hated it, dude.
Doesn't mean
It's all right.
that's about
No,
I mean, it's all right. It's all right.
the whole, and we don't have to get into this, whatever, but like the whole show,
It's all right.
how many seasons? How many seasons was it?
it just
This
finished
is
the
the first
one.
season.
We can binge it now because it's all out, right?
Just-
It's
yeah.
all out. Okay,
Yeah,
so we can
finish the
binge
first
it. I'm gonna go binge it tonight. Then
I don't know if you will. You'll probably get a couple episodes in and be like,
I'm out.
like
I'll
nope.
try. I like zombie stuff. Well, you said it's not zombie stuff.
It's not.
It's not.
There's-
You said it's
It's
not.
fun. It's whatever.
genuinely, there's 3 episodes, I think,
infected.
that have infected people.
Yeah, because it's kind of one of those things where they're making a show and they're trying to make it entertaining, and it's like, at one point you're kind of like, I feel like there'd be a lot more zombies everywhere.
Yeah. It's post-apocalyptic, man. There's just not anybody there. I think they try to
And
explain it
everyone
away.
is just mean.
Yes.
Everyone. It's like if you walk into the next village, they kill you immediately. There's no questions. There's just like,
Yeah.
there's people right there. We gotta
We
kill.
gotta kill those people.
We gotta kill those people.
Sounds like New York City.
Right?
Yeah.
We gotta.
They're just like, hey guys, boom.
No, what I love is they shoot one of them, and it's like, who are you?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you just shot my friend. It's like,
why didn't
Now we're enemies.
you ask first?
yeah, it's kind of wild. I like it though. I mean,
Yeah.
And the thing, we gotta have a bunker, dude. That's what we have to have when this all comes.
there we go.
We
Okay.
gotta come
Well, isn't
together and
there-
we have a bunker.
Isn't
dude.
there like a huge bunker in Montgomery
What?
where they have? It's like a data center. Like it's huge.
Oh no! shit.
That-
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I want to say, and they were trying
wow.
to open it for the public to make something because I think originally it was a rich person's company. That's where they kept all their data, and then it's like a legit survival bunker. Wow,
Really?
I think it's like
Yeah.
two
Where's
warehouses.
this at
I
again?
know, I want to
like,
go see it.
Let me
man.
get this
I know,
address.
right? I want to go see that.
But now
dude.
that someone bought it, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna try to do like a restaurant or something, and they're
When I was a kid, I wanted to
Because they
build.
don't find it.
I wanted to build a house that was a bunker, not because it was a bunker. I just wanted to build a house underground because I was scared of tornadoes.
Oh yeah, dude.
I can see that.
I want one. Dude,
I would.
we gotta have a bunker, dude. We
would
have
too.
to have one. And I got duped, man. I thought Oreos had a real bunker. It was a lie. They got
yeah.
me, dude.
Yeah, cut and paste.
That's when Vinny was starting to
Killed
come into
me.
the show too.
Yeah.
He's like, "What is that?"
He lied to me,
Oreos
dude.
Over the ground. Or I think it was you who said it, but it was
Yeah.
when Vinny started
I
coming.
got ripped off, man.
all right. I found it. Here, I'll pull it up for you guys.
You said a bunker
here it
in
is.
Montgomery
So
County.
it's a legit bunker,
Oh wow.
and here, and it's like,
Oh, look at that, man.
Oh.
Do you want to do a photo?
Well,
shoot?
yeah, there's a
And-
bunch of chairs, huh? And tables. Oh, old school. Porta potties.
That is so cool.
isn't that
Little
nuts?
Shelf, pantry.
And now it's gonna be a restaurant. You said?
Hey, look at that.
Well,
toilets.
someone bought it. Like it
they
used to
got
be a
a-
company bought it, and
they
then
got a bidet.
it was a data center, and then someone else bought it,
Dude, this place looks
and now
nice.
it's something. I don't know what they're trying to do with it, but that's here. That's
This is
What is that building right here? I know. I don't know if you know. It's right here off
Montgomery County.
of
Montgomery
3083. It's like it's like abandoned. Like I don't know. It looks like a hospital. It's right here off of 3083 behind those new apartments.
Oh yeah, it's
Right.
like an abandoned something.
Hospital or something. The little side road.
Give me a second.
3083 when you're going to 45, and it's to the left of there behind those new
It has
apartments.
a hospital and a jail.
And
Yeah, I
anyway,
think.
I didn't
I
read
mean,
all the way.
it's a legit like a society could live there.
Yeah.
man,
So if you get out of hand, they'll throw you in the jail. But if you're hurt, they'll take you to a little hospital.
we need to do that, man. We need to go.
But
check
if this was
shit
The
out.
Last of Us, like no one would be in it until like the very end after we discover it, and then it'd be like one
Reinforced
monster.
concrete.
And it'd be
One
like-
capacity. How many
yeah.
does it hold?
There are sniper holes all around
That's
its
awesome.
exterior.
Yeah, there it is.
That's a real. I mean, I was amazed when I found that.
1,500 people.
we need to go check it
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Take a
Keep
look,
putting-
man. Do a B&E over there.
Alive for 90
Breaking and
days.
entering. check it out.
Yeah, if you're a ghost person, that's where you go.
Yeah, for sure. Man.
And then you're stuck underground.
Just to go.
That's
How do
cool,
we get out of here?
And that tunnel looked cool, man.
Dude, this is wow. This is in Montgomery County.
Like a Japanese
Did you just now realize that?
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. I was like, it's
No, I know. I'm just saying, like it's yeah.
No, that's cool, man. We need to take a field trip and do that, man.
I feel like we would
live
die.
broadcast from there,
I
dude.
feel like someone would get hurt if we go.
Live broadcast, dude. We should do that, man.
Like someone's still living there. They just don't want to tell you who's living there.
Still somebody.
You know,
Hold
like
up inside, man.
That's one of those things. It's like
Hold up.
a
It's
secret
just some-
society lives there or something. We
No,
don't
it's just some.
cave
It's just,
somebody
it's
has
just like
to
one.
maintain it,
It's just
right?
like one homeless guy named Cliff. He's like down there in the bottom, or whatever. He's like pokes around. He's like, "What's up, guys?"
It's like,
He's
no,
the
it's,
maintenance
it's
guy.
like Robin Williams from Jumanji. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
It's like I've been living here for 20 years.
Yep.
Watch all this cool stuff I got.
It was vacant for 13 years.
Man, that's nice, dude. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm gonna tell the wife about that. She'll probably go nose around there and check it out.
watertight.
So the biggest question that I feel like nobody's
The very last
asking
sentence.
is, how does something that obviously had to have cost so
tons,
much
yeah,
money
tons.
to build, how does something like that end up being abandoned?
It said it was created for a dictator's family. That's where it started. And then
Decontamination showers. Sorry, I keep reading.
yeah, it was for. It looks like it's like a North Korean person, because I don't know how to pronounce those names. And it was in 1960s they made it.
Decorative
crazy.
pagoda,
That's
is
cool,
that what
man.
it is, that building pagoda.
But yeah,
Cool, man.
and then people bought it, and that's random. One of those cool things about Montgomery County, no one knows.
I'm gonna go take a look at that.
I don't think you can, to be honest.
That's that Cuban Missile Crisis bunker
Yeah.
right there.
That's a
Going
big one.
on a trip
Probably got a lot
to our
of razor wire around it and everything else.
I said, was it the Bay of Pigs?
Well, that's what I love about that kind of stuff, because we unfortunately we got to close up here pretty soon.
Sure,
is
sure.
When you have that kind of money, it's like, what kind of projects do you want to work on? And it's like, oh, I want to build a bunker that can have 1,500 people that can live in it. And today's world, now it's like, I want to build spaceships and go to space. That's what billionaires are doing. Or you buy a Twitter or something like that. I don't know if I'd ever want to buy a social media company unless I just want to have fun with it. But yeah,
Amazon.
would you go to space? Is that something you would do?
Nah, I feel like we talk about
We
this?
may have. I know because we came up on our show one time because we talked about that hotel that's going to be in space. I don't know if you saw that. It came out like a few months ago. It's like you could get a hotel room in space and your view would be like Earth
Okay.
and whatnot. So
It's like wanting to get in those hotels underwater.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I want to do that too as well. The underwater stuff. Again, underwater, the deep sea, and the space. They baffle me because it's just like they're uncharted. So
Yep.
I
Yeah.
Untouched.
So
Well,
the mystery.
what's weird about that is what's different from visiting those places than visiting a regular hotel, because it's not like you can go outside.
you weightless. Like,
You know, it's not like, oh, there's a cool amusement park
Pancakes.
here because it's so unique.
No, I think
It's
it'd be
like
cool, man.
you go to the space hotel. Oh, cool, we're floating.
Yeah.
And it's like this is your whole experience.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just floating.
5 stars, man.
There's not like an arcade. There's not like, a lazy river pool to hang out on. It's like you're in space.
That's why they have cruise ships.
So, well, that's why you
Yeah.
use cruise ships in space. Yeah, I get that.
Exactly.
But like,
kinda like on
I don't know that I'd want to be in a hotel. I'd put me in a regular hotel. Just give me like a cheese Danish or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Be good.
well, I guess I would be more of like I want to be a day person. I go for the day.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah.
actually experience it. I'm like, this is crazy. And then I'm like, let's go back to Earth.
See, that's like being on
Yeah.
a cruise, though. You're out on the sea for 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me 4 days because after that, you're just going stir crazy on the ship because you're just stuck on the ship.
Yeah.
I want
So-
what I'm waiting for the future. I hope I get to make it in time. I hope I can live long enough to see this. Is the like on Fifth Element how they have the
That's what,
cruise ship?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
that. 'Cause
That'd be
you're,
cool,
You're
man.
doing so, and
Yeah.
you're going to a destination.
Yeah,
But like,
Lost in Paradise.
If
yeah.
you go up in space, I kind of just want to see space just to see it.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Because, it might not be real. You don't know.
Yeah.
So,
It's like the boot. I know Vinny probably likes this. The boot prints don't match the boots he was wearing. The footprint that was left on the moon doesn't match his boot that he came home with.
Would you say that the aftermarket?
Aftermarket boots.
Yeah,
those aftermarket
boot.
parts.
He was wearing Nike on there when and the next thing you know he's wearing Adidas. I don't know.
It's Vans at the end. But space, dude. I mean, I'm into it, dude. I'd go.
Yeah.
I'd be down to go. I'd go in 2 seconds.
I think if I was a billionaire, I would mess with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like buy ads and just like fake products that never come out. And like my favorite would be getting billboards like coming soon, like just some space station or like do something crazy. But, oh, it's so cool, and just never deliver.
Yeah.
Like what is going on?
You know who had the best billboards in the business? Buc-ee's. best billboards in the business, man. I love their billboards. They always got
Straight to the point.
Yeah, and so he's like, "You bet your nuggets we're over here. And we'll bet your nuggets we'll be here with a clean restroom or something." I don't know.
We
got the coolest bits.
We got ice made from scratch.
Yeah, I love it. Dude. I love their billboards, dude.
I love
Good
it.
stuff.
Well, the 52 podcasts can be found on YouTube. You guys have a Facebook. I put all the links, and you can subscribe to the normal podcast stuff. Once a week, Mondays at 7
p.m.
That's
sharp.
when the episode drops.
It drops every 52's
Guys.
coming. 52's on its way. We're almost at 52, episode 52.
We didn't even ask what 52 even meant.
The 52 is Angel. Angel always tells it what it means. Angel, what does it mean?
I like to say we're here all year long, baby, because there's
52
weeks.
Yeah, 52 weeks. And then Johnny.
That's fair, I guess.
Johnny Munoz is not here. Like I said, due to work. He's the one that named we had a podcast idea. We had the idea, and then I said, I told him, let's kick around. So he said, let's just call it the 52, And then we kind of went with that, and we wanted to go with the logo is like an old, the numbers are from like an old race car or motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like racing, kind of dirt bike racing. So that's what we used it for. It's all old school 70s vibe.
The premise is just that we'll never miss a week. There's always going to be an episode that comes out every Monday
awesome.
at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that. I don't want to do that.
I like it. I like doing it. It's so much fun. It's
I'll check
a
it
lot
out.
of fun.
I'll check it out.
I didn't check it out.
Don't forget, share, like, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Where's it at?
It's either here. Click
Somewhere in
this
there.
button. I don't know what button you're looking at, but just click it.
I
Click
like
a button.
it.
Find a button.
Well, and
Yeah,
also before we go, we want to talk about the wrestling stuff having at Southern Star on the 25th. Tickets are $15. I imagine if you visit the
Texas
Southern
All-Star
Star Facebook or something, you can buy tickets there or
Texas
whatever.
All-Star,
Texas All Star Wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, and then also speaking of Southern Star, we got your 50th anniversary tomorrow.
Saturday.
So check that out.
Yep.
Y'all have it's an all day thing. That sounds like a lot of fun. And then anything else going on? I know you do trivia night.
Oh yeah, I mean
yeah.
it's if you're ever looking for a fun place to play some bar trivia, Thursday nights at 7 o'clock at Southern Star. It's a fantastic fantastic place to be.
And also catch
And it's free,
Trent,
right?
Yeah, free to play. And then Trent's also at the Moco Food Hall.
Yeah,
at
Moco
Firm.
Food Hall.
Catch him anywhere.
The
He's all over
Firm,
town.
there's just you can go to craftquizcompany.com and check it out. And
There we go. And Angel, you don't do anything, do you? No,
he's got the hardest part. He's got to deal with me, dude. He's got to deal with me, and I'm always busting his chops about. I need this soundbite now. I need this video now. So that's a whole job in itself, dude. Me getting bit by me.
If you see us, come say hi. Come say what's up.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think
I love
about the
it.
show.
Yeah, man.
Well, guys, thank you so much. We're going to get back to our normal programming here on Lone Star Community Radio. We're going to be closing up Mornings of Lone Star. Speaking of this weekend, I want to give a shout out to yesterday's guest, Jurassic Quest. If you're a family wanting to get out, that's a great place to go check out the Lone Star Convention Center. You guys, I will see y'all later.